All right, guys. We are into it. We are in the thick of things now in this bronze bracket. It's all happened very quickly, but with the way this is sorted, if you win your second round, you will, at the very least, be a silver player. Silver will have never really had a league before in previous years of Titans League. That will have $10,000. And, of course, you know, there's also that fast track to gold. You would have to win 4 rounds, not 2, but 4 rounds. Anyone who has questions on that, feel free to check out the links in my chat or look at Liquipedia. It's fairly self-explanatory when you see it. But we've got 2 players here who are very similarly ranked. They're about 23 or 2,400 elo. And both these players feel like silver category players, like players that could be there and learn a lot from that. Survivalist has been around a while. Survivalist thing is he doesn't die. He doesn't really like hit the timings on the attacks like a lot of other high-level players do. But he's just really tough to kill off. Actually pushes in 3 deer right away at the start here on Jungle Swamp. But yeah, it's an interesting matchup because Thunderbolt definitely fits that more standard play of aggression, I would say. I think he's maybe put in a little bit more work in terms of preparation and whatnot. But again, Survivalist tough to kill. So will be a bit of a heartbreaker for either player. Again, I think they fall into that category where they could end up being in silver. But you got to earn it, obviously. The loser here will have at least earned $50. I don't know how much money we've got into the next round and whatnot. There's $1,600 in total in all of bronze. Obviously, the future of AoE, we need more players. We need these players to have opportunities. That's kind of part of what started Titans League. And really proud of the work we put in so far. It'd be really exciting to have a 10K Silver League. So we got Burmese for Survivalist. A little surprising. Not a civilization that I would have expected here. Usually you're seeing like scout civilizations, which I guess Burmese can be. But it's kind of fascinating that he's gone for the Civ. Now, Survivalist does try some phosphorus strategies every now and then. So maybe he wants to go for like the Fast Castle Arambai approach. People are asking for the elo for these players. I actually don't have it on the top of my head. I'm rounding up or down for either player. It's roughly this. They could easily be... They both go up and down a lot. They could easily be like 50 to 80 elo above that or below that right now. But that's roughly speaking where they're at. So just so there's no questions, that's what we'll do. Can't forget about the swamp on this jungle. And so that's probably part of the reason that Thunderbolt ended up picking Malay, because they're very strong on water. And so he's gone for the dock in the middle. And he'll add a couple fishing ships here. And honestly, I think he's expecting a dock to go up from Survivalist. But this does not look to me like Survivalist has any interest in docking. We've only got 3 on wood. He hasn't even sent a villager or a scout towards the middle. So we'll have a lot of additional food from pushing in all the deer here. But the downside will be less overall workers. And the Malay also will usually have more villagers than you. Because they spend less time researching the next stage as well. So I just don't think it's very wise to do what Survivalist is doing. But I've seen him do things that probably aren't advisable before, and he just kind of hangs around, right? Like if you don't kill him, his name is Survivalist for a reason. He hangs around, and then the game can get interesting. So honestly, I think we could have like a 2.5 hour best of 5 here. Maybe even a 3-hour best of 5. Would not shock me if every single game went to the Imperial Age in this series. So building the mill on berries, pushing in some deer. Still wondering as, Thunderbolt has an opportunity to steal a little bit of food here. I mean, the gloves are off, right? Like, it's no more Mr. Nice Guy from Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt knows every win matters big time here. Actually, interesting little backstory is that Thunderbolt lost in the previous season to Phosphoru. So, and it was what, like, Phosphoru's debut tournament. I can't speak, sorry. So, if that's what Survivalist is going to do, if he's going to do some weird YOLO stuff, it's something that Thunderbolt kind of struggled to deal with. I don't know. Mish the Hun, are you okay? Are you? I just want to make sure you're good, man. the things that you're saying in my chat right now, very confusing. And very concerning, actually. I just want to make sure everything's good. Everything's good, we could probably move on. Saying some weird things, mods. Maybe just keep an eye out. It seems like something's going on. I think they're trying to troll, and I think they're trying to be funny. I can't quite tell. Something's going on. We'll let him do his thing. Thunderbolt is up. Now, Thunderbolt at this point, probably surprised. He hasn't seen any activity in the middle. So, he rushed fast feudal, I believe, to probably just try and win that pond against an expected dock. There has been no dock there. Meanwhile, Survivalist, rather. Survivalist on the way to the next stage. And he's still just pushing in all the deer. There's like 100 deer on this map. So he hasn't left his base, pushing in the deer. This is definitely Phosphor-esque. Fast castle without mining any gold. Mods, can we actually just like time Mish out for like an hour or something? It's actually getting kind of annoying. And I made the mistake of giving them more attention. The Thunderbolt is confused. And he's like, what's going on here? Did take some damage to the TC fire. And Thunderbolt didn't really have that archer range follow up fast enough here. So Scout's got to be pushed away. Thunderbolt should probably get out of here. But he's going to fight it off. Survivalist will get the kill. It's not bad for Survivalist. And Market and Blacksmith. But, like, what's the plan? Is the plan just to go straight boom or what? I gotta say, it really took some time for Thunderbolt to get some army out here. Like, the fact that he's just now produced his first archer, it doesn't feel like the build was perfectly managed to apply pressure as quickly as you'd want. The Survivalist sells off some food, sells off some wood, and he's on the way up. And now he's going to gold. Now he's dropping a tower. Just so unorthodox. I mean, I guess he's expecting there to be archers. That's why he's dropping the tower, so it's not a bad call. Let's see if Survivalist can get away with this. Like, I'm just, you know, not trying to be judgy of a build here. I'm always real with you guys on what's viable and what's not. And I'm going to be real with you. This is just not an advisable build. There's so many downsides to this. Even if your opponent doesn't kill any villagers, you're just so far behind in resources collected. But it's a very survivalist thing. And it makes it tricky when the tournament's happening, when the nerves are high. It makes it really tricky to know what to do. The plan is, yeah, literally to survive. His scout ended up dying somewhere. And we need to see more follow-up here from Thunderbolt. Now, it still might be some confusion from Thunderbolt. See, now Thunderbolt underneath the TC over here. Almost loses that archer. He must be some confusion because he sees the stone and there's no villagers on stone. So I guess Survivalist is just going to add a siege workshop and maybe adapt into this. Obviously, without the market, Survivalist's plan is probably not going to be all that good here. He tries to save that villager, does save the villager. Thunderbolt still has a lot more archers that could be brought forward here. They're not moving out at all. And he drops the market to balance out his resources to try and head to Castle Age. And we see a monastery now from Survivalist. Double monastery. Wow, okay. If anything, I thought a siege workshop for a scorpion or two, and then a second TC, and then just a boom. But he wants to go YOLO monks. Thunderbolt's going to need to see this. Thunderbolt will see it now, so he knows what this is. He's done a good job to like, poke a lot. Even delaying the monasteries is very nice here. Obviously, he hasn't found the kills he would have wanted. But the monasteries still aren't completed. Looks like they will be. That's going to be a villager down, though. And monks are just now on the way. More villagers could get exposed. I think Thunderbolt just needs to maybe relax a little bit here. And balance out his resources. He's going to stay on archers. Would love to see him, and he's going to do it now. Just walking back and forth to all this hunt would be really helpful while also mixing in farms. He built a mill here. He's added the farms here. Now Survivalist will build a TC over here. No food income for Survivalist right now, by the way. None. But 350 foods banked up. So 1,700 resources collected behind for Survivalist. Someone in my chat said he is fasting. He's going to get a relic. That's not bad. He's converting the higher HP archer. He loses the monk. So, honestly, that's probably worth it for Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt will take that trade. This delays things a little bit. Thunderbolt's in Castle Age now. He's got Crossbowman on the way, has Bodkin on the way. Once there's siege pressure. I'm not in love with the siege pressure idea because you're up against Burmese and they have the cheap monk upgrades. But I guess if you feel you can take down the monks, he also doesn't know the TC is here. So that's why that siege workshop seems a little forward. But if you feel you can snipe the monks, it could be fine. Survivalist does something with monks that I think other high-level players should be doing. But I just never really see them do it. And he will idle a group of monks. And then he will spam the next idle military hotkey. And cycle through them, like, instantly. Other people will control group them separately. But he basically puts all his monks idle and then bam, 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 bam. Goes for a bunch of conversions here. I think it's really broken. But you need to get a group of monks first. Thunderbolt. Ahead by 2,000 resources collected here. 2,000. Again, as good as Survivalist might be with this is just... It doesn't feel like he's practiced a lot. It doesn't feel like this is a clean build at all. But I know Thunderbolt has a tendency to sometimes overdo it with the aggression. From here, second town center and booming is completely fine behind all this. He's getting some villager snipes. Sees the siege workshop from Survivalist. Lands a really nice shot there. Kills 3 villagers with the mangonel. There's a lot to manage right now for Thunderbolt because he's hearing the monks and he's also seeing the siege. And Survivalist gets a very nice engagement there, and so he's surviving. Idle TC starting to climb up because his idle time's ridiculous. Thunderbolt's going to back away. Thunderbolt now drops the second TC. Thunderbolt is out of fish here. Both players microing. That's really unfortunate for Thunderbolt. Okay, at least he gets the 1-for-1 there. Also focusing over here. Looks like he lost a crossbow. But he ends up killing 2 monks, so I think that's probably fine. Yeah, these could be fish trapped right now for Thunderbolt. Again, there's so much micro focus, though. Monk count is climbing for Survivalist. At least here, he's got 4 monks. It's actually a 5th inside the TC, and there's only 5 crossbows. So these could all be converted. The Survivalist will just run away to this wood line. Thunderbolt might need to delete these. He's got a real decision to make right now. Because, like, I think I'd be tempted to try and get kills before they die. But you could also justify deleting. That's probably a good play in the end, though, if you can kill some monks. Oof. Yeah, monks are insane, man. 3 conversions now for Survivalist. But he got completely massacred over here, guys. Obviously, he was focused. This group of villagers just gets flattened. And he was clearly looking at the monks here because he didn't see it. I didn't see it. So Thunderbolt, now 20 eco lead. Has decent enough eco upgrades. We'll have a lot of work to do to balance it out, though. There's a lot of idols. There's still not a 3rd TC. And the monk count is climbing now for Survivalist. But it's like... It's going to have to be some type of a crazy turnaround because... I mean, the only advantage I can really think of him would be the wood upgrade and the 2 relics. Obviously, the wood upgrade was free. But Redemption's in now. So with Redemption, the siege can be converted. Thunderbolt should expect this. Because with Burmese, the monk techs are just so cheap, right? You don't normally want to research Devotion when you're playing crossbow. But that is an option here. And there we go. This is exactly what I was talking about. You see how fast he started his conversions? That is spamming... Idle military, idle military, idle military, and then clicking the next target at the same time. And oh my god, the conversion comes in! And the conversions have all paid off big time here. Thunderbolt's going to have a real decision to make. All his crossbows get pushed away. His own mangonels resulted in getting most of the kills. And now we've got 11 monks with 4 more in queue for Survivalist. And we have 0 army for Thunderbolt. He's got nothing. He's going to drop a stable now and switch out of monks, which feels like a good play, but Melee Cav isn't necessarily the strongest. And when you have this many monks, monks can convert low numbers of light cav as well. Yeah, this is about to get insane. Thunderbolt's fishing ships on the front could be converted. So that will be foodie kill we won't have. His houses can all be converted. Monks are insanely strong if they get the snowball on you, and it's happening. Pay attention to Thunderbolt's population count. Or like pop space, because this is about to be brutal. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 houses. Thunderbolt's now housed. Needs to scramble up more houses behind. He also doesn't have a ton of food. He actually deleted his dock. He's deleted the fishing ships. Dude, I mean, Thunderbolt needs more stables in one. You got to get 2 stables. I would say playing guard tower defense is fine, because Survivalist might be moving in with more siege soon to push the TCs. Survivalist has turned it around. Who needs economy when you can just convert everything your opponent ever makes and invest into? Market's there. Market's about to be converted. Another house is about to be converted. Another archer range is about to be converted. Another archer range is about to be converted. Panic Castle from Thunderbolt. He doesn't have the resources to really make enough light cav to deal with this. I'd say you have to delete the archer ranges, honestly, and even delete the market, but yeah, now all those buildings are survivalists, and Thunderbolt completes a castle. Yeah, monks are insane. Monks are insane. And we have 3 town centers behind this for Survivalist now. And Thunderbolt has a decision to make on what army to make. Now, I think he's actually got a good unit available in his castle. Karambits are awesome because they're super low cost. And they produce very quickly. And if you get a Karambit converted, it's only half population space. It's not a big deal. So, if I'm Thunderbolt, I'm spamming Karambits right now. But he seems almost like stunned. He seems really uncertain on what to do. Survivalist just saw this scout. And so he's thinking that his opponent will go light cav. So he'll mix in some pikemen now. He's actually getting the pikeman upgrade from the forward barracks, which is hilarious. Thunderbolt still has a very nice eco lead, but the score might not feel like it. This is a very unorthodox play against him. Could be in his head a little bit, but again, Karambits, man. Karambits are the key here. Against this many monks, spam Karambits. I mean, pay attention to when Survivalist ends up converting, though. He will always do it. He'll sit his monks so they're not moving, and if he has any other form of military, it's important you move it, because otherwise it'll show up in the idle, the next idle military button. So it's usually like, sit there with the monks, click the pikemen forward, or make sure they're not idle. And then make the move from there. I mean, Thunderbolt is just attacking the market with his own Karambits right now. And he's getting Devotion. Okay. Well, Devotion's not a bad tech. Losing this TC obviously hurts the eco side of things, so I think this will get closer now, because Survivalist is on 3 TCs cooking. Survivalist is also going to have 5 relics behind this. But Survivalist doesn't have any protection for his monks right now, if this were to be full Karambit, but it doesn't seem like Thunderbolt believes that that's the play. I mean, that is a lot of monks, and Karambits do have low attack, but I would say that trying to deal with this, first and foremost, would kind of be key here. We'll see. And Karambits are running up here. It's just 2 TCs for Thunderbolt. Game number 1. He will drop a castle in the north. Survivalist will have all 5 relics. There's stones and golds around the map that will become a factor as well. Survivalist now on the way to Imp. I mean, once you get to 23 monks, I really think you should stop producing them. And you should start focusing around other forms of military here, because, I mean, you have enough monks to be very strong. As for what Burmese would make, Cav is pretty strong with them. Infantry's strong. Range units, not so much. Imp is also on the way for Thunderbolt now as he goes for a raid. Finds a villager kill. Still has the villager lead. But Survivalist with a big line of houses and stone gates now. He's going to fall back. And we see the man-at-arms upgrade. It's so funny to me that he's gained the barracks from his opponent. I guess he had this one as well. Oh, shoot. Hold on. What's happening here? Thunderbolt's going to drop a castle on him. Or he's going to try to. Survivalist can see the vills, though. And Survivalist can also drop his own castle here. Survivalist might be able to deny this, guys. Let's see. I'm guessing he'll do the stop. He'll do the stop situation again. Okay, starts to build his own castle. Yeah, the pikemen move. The monks will stop. And it's bam, 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 bam. Thunderbolt thought he would reach imp faster and wanted to force the imp timing. But Thunderbolt, he's up against the wrong player for that. Nice awareness there from Survivalist. He built this outpost earlier and had Town Watch so he could see all that. And monks are just terrifying if the right player is controlling them. The castle does go up for Thunderbolt. So castle will complete. Survivalist should probably make trebs right away so we could focus on that. That'll be the same for Thunderbolt. Still not really certain what Thunderbolt's main army comp is going to be here. It feels like he's going to switch back into archers. Yeah, we see more archer ranges now. Survivalist wants to go champs. I think he wants to go champs because Burmese are really good with that. But also because he thinks it's going to be full karambit against the monks. That's probably what he would do. I don't think Thunderbolt necessarily believes in that. And to be fair, it gets a whole lot harder now. Like, now doing it probably is not a wise move. Now going full archers makes sense. Burmese do have lackluster skirms. Thunderbolt's finding a lot of stone to be mined here, and gold. Trebs are going to start off. This is actually a good instance to see the little wall trick I've been talking about that no one else has been trying. Because I think Survivalist will use his own trebs to try and push that treb down. Thunderbolt selling 400 stone, buying food, just trying to get upgrades right now. Another castle down here from Survivalist, who has 46 on food. He put a lot of effort and time into getting his food count up. Now the Karambits dive. I mean, horrible day to be a Karambit warrior, but at least they did the job. Like, every Karambit warrior goes down. He just wanted to snipe the treb. And now Thunderbolt builds a gate in front. And just 2 trebs from him, but he's pushing this castle, and Survivalist doesn't have an answer yet. He is making bombard cannons, though. He got chemistry nice and early. He's got this weird clump of slow military units. Building up those bombard cannons. Remember, Survivalist, 5 relics. The Thunderbolt moving villagers down here now. He doesn't have many outposts, so he could be surprised by things. He doesn't know the castle's down here, for example. But he's really worried and aware of the fact that the Burmese champions have the power to dive in there and snipe those trebs, but I think he's completely forgotten about bombard cannons. Really nice hold from Survivalist. The bombard cannon patience pays off. Now Thunderbolt realizes, but he already loses 1. I think he wants to use those crossbowmen to snipe the bombard cannons, but the bombard cannons outrange them. Survivalist holding. And Thunderbolt's going to lose this trap. Thunderbolt needs to back off from this position now, in my opinion. He's really forcing it now. He's getting really desperate. But he still needs ballistics. Doesn't have that upgrade yet. I think he needs chemistry as well. No, he has chemistry, so he could make his own bombard cannons. But that is tough against the monks, because there's still 23 monks in there. Arbalest, at the very least, would be fantastic, but he doesn't really have the food now. And so Survivalist is trying to push this back. Thunderbolt's going to reposition now. I think Thunderbolt should realize right there he doesn't have ballistics. He's researching it now. And okay. It's another instance. So the monks have 12 range now, right? Another instance where I would expect Survivalist to move his normal military and stop with his monks before spamming the trick again. Yeah, right there you saw them stop. So the other military moves, then it's spam all idle military. It'll take you to the monks like this. Still a good fight for Thunderbolt. He's still getting lots of kills here. So it's really messy for Survivalist right now. He does take down the castle, though. And there's 20 villagers he can snipe with the 2-handed swordsman. You see, like, Survivalist hasn't really been the most offensive individual this game, but he's going for the conversions again. He has a lot of monks lined up, and with some of the regroups there on the Arbalest, the Arbalest kind of turned around there, giving opportunities for conversions. The conversions happen. The two-handed swordsmen are chasing down villagers here, and look at the pop right now. Survivalist still 60 army. You wouldn't know it by how he's sitting back, but he's going to max out at 200 pop here in a second. Those monks just make it so difficult to engage. Remember, there's not many defensive castles for Thunderbolt, but he will garrison inside the TC. And, ooh, okay, we've got Trebs and a castle here from Thunderbolt. See, I like the idea. I don't like the fact the castle isn't completed yet. But I like the energy there from Thunderbolt. Survivalist needs to make... He needs to get upgrades on his infantry. He needs to start taking big fights. But the fights are coming to him, and to be honest, he's got the superior army right now, so... Again, Thunderbolt moves in. This castle wasn't completed yet. Now he's committing to building it. He just got the timing wrong here, and his Trebs are exposed. He'll lose his Trebs. His castle will probably complete. Even that I'm not sure on. But I think it'll complete and then immediately get taken down. Treb is still up for him, though. Survivalist still no real offense this game. And more Arbalest are massing for Thunderbolt. But yeah, castle will go down. Yeah, this castle was Thunderbolt trying to take this position. Didn't quite have the army, didn't quite have the numbers there. But man, what a game. Oh my god, what a shot from the bombard cannons. It killed like 10 Arbalest there. And Survivalist just continuing to have this slow-moving army creep around the map and continues to defend really well here. Remember, his eco is incredible. I would love to see a Hussar switch. He's got 53 on food. Those 5 relics have certainly paid for themselves now. Lots of inefficiencies over here. He's just going to scramble up a new TC here. But he is pushing this castle. I mean, God, is it messy. There's so many villagers and two-handed swordsmen going down. I mean, the fact we haven't even seen a champion upgrade is kind of crazy. Survivalist. Guys, I'm getting concerned. Like, he's taken on every castle on the side of his base, but he's really struggling to take, like, consistently, I guess, like, normal fights? I don't really know how to word it. He's going to have to push the main base of Thunderbolt at some point. There he takes out the bomber cannon. Maybe he'll start to push these ranges. There are some bomber cannons around for him to defend from the Arbs, I guess. And now another castle from Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt might run out of gold at some point soon. He actually is taking this gold up here, which Survivalist probably shouldn't allow. He's going to have this gold, but if he loses this castle, if this gets pushed right now, and it looks like it's going to, I think he'll run out. Seems like Thunderbolt doesn't really know what to do with his army right now. Because everywhere he goes, there's a bombard cannon or there's a monk. This is what, the 3rd castle now the Thunderbolt's placed that he's just going to lose almost immediately? The castle positions have really haunted him this game. Against Survivalist, and this just comes with experience. I've played Survivalist a bunch of times. You have to treat the game a little bit differently. You can't give him these opportunities for the free castle snipes. You got to make him come to you. You use the army to control those areas, and you don't use the castles to control those areas, because all he's looking to do is snipe your castles until you have no more. Another castle down for Thunderbolt. The Thunderbolt loops his whole army over here. 200 population for both. Upgrades are coming in. He's adding karambits again. Survivalist is still not really going for any offensive moves after that. Just backs up again. He's such a turtle, dude. He's such a turtle. It's crazy. And I think, like, this is what makes him special. It's also why I think getting to gold is really ambitious. At a certain point, you do have to be a little bit more offensive. But he's hanging in, and he got his monks locked in again. And obviously, Thunderbolt's heard that noise a lot of times. I'd love to see... I don't know where these bomber cannons are going. I'd love to see you raid with hussars and not bomber cannon, Survivalist. But he is currently raiding with bomber cannons. That's the new meta right there. Because, like, the food count's looking pretty good, right? So I'd say a couple stables. There's the stables, so he's got the right idea. Still don't know where that bomber cannon's going. Champion will make it really tough for the Karambits to engage, but we do have elite Karambit. Thunderbolt's just like... Honestly, clears out the 20 monks. Becomes a very different game. The monks are the reason why Thunderbolt can't make bomber cannons consistently. But Burmese champs are insanely strong. And now the stables are coming up for Survivalist. Survivalist backs up over here. He's got 5 relics, so he should feel pretty comfortable with the situation. And here we go. The monks are ready to convert, but the monks are chasing forward. So many of them will die. But, dude, that's such a great fight. I can't tell exactly how many conversions happen in there, but there was a decent amount, and Karambits is just not the play now. Not against champions. It does make you think, though, what do you make? What do you make against the monks? What do you make against the champs? Lightcav's not a great option. We do have Karambits raiding up here right now. And also the Bombar Cannons could still all be sniped by one Karambit warrior. Man, dude, losing 3 Bombar Cannons like this is crazy, dude. They're so focused down here. Arbalest move in for more Bombar Cannons. Thunderbolt snipes one of them. Survivalist is losing a lot of ills. Survivalist has to be careful right now. He has to be really careful he doesn't throw what was a good economic position. TC's denied. Stables are being, like, collapsed on, so the light cap spam's not enough. Feels like he could have played slightly more defensive there, but he's creeping this way. What a game number 1. We actually have Man-at-Arms being researched by Thunderbolt. Is he thinking about Force Levy? If the gold is running dry, it's a really good thing to think about. There's still Karambits over here. Thunderbolt needs to keep an eye on. It's a really messy game. Honestly, it kind of feels like whoever wins this one is going to have such a nice momentum swing going into the rest of the series. At this level, man, it's going to make such a difference. Neither player is going to be as accustomed to shaking it off and moving on into a best of 5, right? 70 Karambits on the map, by the way. Survivalist does a great job at the slow creep. And look at those conversions locked in. He is sending champions over here. He's lost like 30 villagers over the last few moments. He's down to 100. I don't know if individual champions are good enough against these Karambits. Also think Thunderbolt needs to recognize his army is there. These Trebs from Survivalist have done 20k damage. And he finds another castle. One of 2 castles remaining right now for Thunderbolt. Man, Thunderbolt's still got 30 units over there that he hasn't noticed. Okay, he sees them now. He's bringing them back. There's 40 Burmese champions for Survivalist. And then he's always backing them up, and he always has the monks there. The monks are going to heal. The monks are going to convert. I think Thunderbolt has some real resource concerns right now. He needs to get Force Levy. Okay, that's on the way. He still would need to research Two-Handed Swordsman. He has no easy way to raid Survivalist, right? Survivalist has the defensive castles. And Survivalist is has the better raiding civ with the light cav, and he's finally getting the upgrades. Okay, is this the fight? Is this where he tries it? Survivalist sees it. Goes for conversions immediately. Look at that patrol. The patrol took the Karambit warriors into the buildings that Survivalist converted earlier in the game. Fight needs to be won by Thunderbolt. And it's just not happening, man. It's not happening. Dude, those champions just melt the Karambits. Just absolutely melted them. There's not enough ARBs. The ARBs had to hit and run and dodge the Bombar Cannon shots. And he's going to hope to spam Two-Handed Swordsmen that don't cost gold. But the opponent has gold and the opponent has champions. ARBs go for what's left of the Bombar Cannons. We'll get a couple of them. But the monks still remain. The Trebs still remain. Damage is being done. We got a raid up here from Survivalist now. 30 villager lead for him. And there's only one castle for Thunderbolt. That castle is here. So everywhere else is raidable. And even though I think you could say it's been far from ideal, there's been instances where Survivalist has lost a lot that maybe was ever so slightly unnecessary. The core buildup has just been better from him, and it's been the key has really been the monks. The monks and the trebs, and whatever he's had to protect it for a while, it was that group of infantry. Just really strong, man. Yeah, two-handed swordsmen are on the way, but you need a lot more on food than 23 to spam them. And they're so much worse than a champion. And now Hussar should really be the main focus, and game 1 ends. Survivalist takes the win. What a game. There wasn't a single point in this game, except for maybe in like early stages of Dark Age, which doesn't really count, where Thunderbolt was behind in res collected. Like, even at the end here, he's ahead in res collected, despite not having relics. Now, in terms of the valuable resources, Survivalist had more. He had more food, he had more gold. But, like, Survivalist just hangs in, man. That was a banger of a first game. My goodness. How many conversions did he end up having? 77 conversions. 77 conversions. That has got to be a new record for Jungle Swamp. You do not see people pick monk civs on this map. You do not see people play like this, but I think Survivalist, he survived. So, and how many monks? I think it was only like 25, because he had a group of 23 for a while, and he lost a couple. I mean, it wasn't more than 31. So he got a lot of value from those monks. The other thing Capture Age doesn't show you is how much HP the monks heal up. I think Thunderbolt tried to do too much. Tried to do way too much with the castles. I think if he had more defensive castles, this would have been a very different Imperial Age. And I think in Castle Age, he tried to force the issue a little too much. But it should be a really good series, man. We'll hop into game 2 here in just a second. But if that's what game number 1 was, we're really in for a fun one. All right. So people are showing up here today. Thank you very much, live viewers. Hello, everybody. Thank you for getting here. Fun series to be here for. Again, if you win this series, you become a silver boy. You get into a $10,000 league at minimum. If you win, you also could get to gold if you win 2 more rounds, which I think would be ever so slightly ambitious for both of them, but doable. The point is, you win here, you get into the 10K league, which would be huge for both of them. Survivalist has picked the Byzantines, and it's another civ that's tough to kill. Actually, it's like the civ that's tough to kill. And I think it's perfect for him, because Survivalist does not really have elite level timings and timing attacks, and he transitions and stuff like that. He's unique in the sense that he's kind of always defending against those other timings and attacks, and then if he can survive, he can make it happen. Byzantines are kind of perfect there. Cheap trash units, great defensive options. Now, I think Thunderbolt will have been doing practice sets. He will have played a lot of games. I don't expect that from Survivalist. So my expectation is that Survivalist is going to see the water and just try and win water with Byzantines. I think a lot of Feudal Age Byzantines, just a lot of Feudal Age Navy on this map is not very good. At least fire galleys, because the sea tower is pretty strong. And I do remember I actually played Survivalist in a show match on this map. He played Byzantines. He tried to go trash forward with no loom, and he lost one of his villagers to a crocodile out here. And, I mean, the rest was, it wasn't good. So, that's actually good for Survivalist, though. That should be in the back of his mind. The fact he doesn't practice much or do practice sets hurts him, because he doesn't have that information. But that game, again, is a couple years ago. If I remember it, I'm sure he does. So I really think the better thing for Byzantines to do here would just be go fast castle, maybe make a couple fire ships, and then just contest for these other golds, right? Get TCs up here. I think Italians could do the same thing. Cheaper dock techs, cheaper fishing ships, cheaper to go up to the next stage. So all of this, very viable for both civs. Now, Thunderbolt, here's a little detail that confirms that he has practiced, okay? So he knows that there's these deer, because you always have that group of deer near your TC. But there are other clumps of deer around the map. And if you were to look for them first and leave these here, because these are kind of freebies, you can actually get a little bit more food to help your fast castle. So this is Thunderbolt's home map pick. He looked over here, saw the deer. I think everyone realistically should be trying to do that. In the case of Survivalist, he actually has another group right here, so that's fine. So that's much easier to find. That should be no problem for him to get those. Yeah, really long rush distance on land. So I don't love the idea of any land attack for now. This is meant to be more of like a boomy, adaptive style. It is an interesting choice from Thunderbolt, though, because I would never want a boomy adaptive map against Survivalist. I would want... Well, I'd want a map like the previous map, where you can apply pressure early, which also didn't work. Yeah, Survivalist will push in his deer. Pretty easy to do the double deer push if you line him up. He's pretty good at that. And Thunderbolt choosing not really to go that route, but not really too big a deal. I think the scouts are just going to chill out in here. Somebody's asking about the maps. Anytime you're watching me cast a tournament, if you see a map you like, I would just encourage you to search for the name of the tournament, and you should be able to download the maps. All of the tournaments you'll see will have a map pack that's publicly available. So in this case, you can search for Titans League. This would be Titans League Bronze. Bobby Tables is best of 5. I thought TTL was play all. This is essentially, it's a big knockout bracket to qualify people for silver and bronze. Or sorry, for silver and gold. So the main groups, which will start in the new year, will be play all. But that's not going to be the case here. We have villagers headed to gold for Thunderbolts. Survivalist is going to do the same, I imagine. And still kind of feels like Fast Castle-y. But if it's a Fast Castle, I don't love the build from Survivalist. If he's trying to play water, it would make more sense. Again, I love that this is always a conversation. I love the guy. He's a really unique player. But, like, I don't think he can go Fast Castle off this timing. He can figure it out, I'm sure. But on the other side, we've got Italians. We've got 5 fishing ships instead of 3. We've got the deer. We've got the mill. So then you can go market. Then you can add blacksmith. No mill for survival. It's not the end of the world. I mean, he'll add a couple vills here, I'm sure. It won't just be adding 2, though, which is almost always what you want. I like the wall. Sometimes your gold's exposed, so walling in this gold is kind of tricky. I think this is fine. Thunderbolt has chosen not really to wall at all yet. And Thunderbolt will reach feudal age at the same time. Just slight lead because he added the 2 extra fishing ships. But that's what makes the Italians so good. Because it is cheaper for them to do that. Survivalist is going to add a galley. Remember, you have a sea tower to protect you here. So, feudal age Navy really struggles to accomplish anything. He'll add a barracks. I do like adding scouts on this map. Just to get information and adapt a little bit. And no loom for Thunderbolt. You should almost always get loom here, but I think he sees the scout. And 1 villager's separated, and yeah, Thunderbolt could lose a villager here. It's just a little bit greedy here. A nice play from Survivalist. Especially if Survivalist can save this scout now. Should always try and run back to a spearman now. Let's just say... Listen, I have very high standards for everyone in this bracket. Let's just say that both players, if whoever wins, should do a little bit better in the next round. Survivalist could have just ran home. He could have just ran home out of the spear, saved the scout, but that's whatever. He killed the Vill. He's in a good spot. And Thunderbolt loses the Vill, and we'll have some regrets. So, Thunderbolt going for the double dock fires now. And... double dock fires, when upgraded, will smash whatever Survivalist is going to try and do here. But it's also bigger investment. If Survivalist doesn't have big investment, if Survivalist could kill a fishing ship or 2, that'd be pretty good. A Thunderbolt should be able to scout. Should really be checking the front now to see what Survivalist is making. But not able to look at that right now. Fire galleys are on the way, and he's actually making a demo. So what Survivalist is doing is so off, like, from what anyone else has done. The demo is being queued because he's expecting Byzantine fires. Survivalist with the next level plays. He adds the 2 galleys, so his opponent adds a demo, which doesn't click. War galley upgrades in queue for Thunderbolt. He's still playing very open here. Very open, and right now he should be able to see that his opponent has a stable. So needs to be careful there. We'll drop the second TC. And once the War Galley upgrade is in, should be able to take down everything Survivalist has on water. But Survivalist might be able to stay on water for a while here. The sea tower's still there. He's Byzantine fires. The Thunderbolt will have that 5 fishing ship lead for now. Takes about 4 fires to justify taking down the sea tower, by the way. Or you could just do a demo hit like that. But yeah, and what you should do is pull back the weak one. If you pull back your first weak one, this tower goes down very fast. The Thunderbolt, not going to do that, but he's still got the tools there. You just can't be losing fish now. Can't be losing fish now. He saw the galleys, and oh, this is so good for Survivalist, because Survivalist is already going to lose water, right? But this minimal investment now actually finds a little bit of payoff. Only killed 1. Survivalist did the right thing to cancel his fire galley as well, because it wouldn't have done enough. And he killed 2 fish. I like that. I honestly really like that. That's not so good, losing the scout, but he can always add more. And TC over near the gold on the left side right now for Survivalist. So, guys, I've played a lot of practice sessions with players in this bracket. I've watched a bunch of games. I'm like... I come in really prepped for the cast, right? Tiny little things on this map. That's all it is. Tiny little things. Like, the amount of investment for every decision is really important. I think the thing for Thunderbolt right now that he's going to potentially have some issues with is just the fact that he's not walled. So it seems like he's going to try and wall this side. Now that he's essentially 1 water, I'd like to see him above 3 fishing ships. It's not the most efficient, but you could get up to 6 or 7 with Italians more than justify that. I actually really like the TCs at home. And here you've got the camel. Camel will kill the monk. I think that was a little ambitious from Thunderbolt. This is the downside of playing water and not playing land, is you can lose your monks. But he didn't know the direction his opponent was going to be coming from. Survivalist drops the monastery at home. He's aware of all the relics on the map. There are 7 relics. And 3 TCs for him. I like the farming eco. That looks really nice. He's actually shifting a bunch of vills to stone right now. He's got this TC on stone. He's got this TC on stone. And now he's pulled villagers over to this stone. So this, to me, feels like Survivalist is going to super early castle on this side or this side. I wouldn't mind an outpost, though, so you know if Thunderbolt is here or not. That is obviously an option for him. No relics in for Survivalist yet. But he will save that camel and probably heal it up. Yeah, this is the downside of trying to get relics when your opponent has a stable. That is another monk down for Thunderbolt. Nice job from Survivalist there. And there's the outpost. It's a good call. Like, obviously really needs that. And with Byzantines, you can see a long way. Thunderbolt's build, in my experience, is almost always to build up towards a castle here, though, on the player's TC. Kind of tough to do when the TC's there. Did you have just 5 villagers coming this way now? So kind of like the previous game, slight eco lead, slight timing lead for Thunderbolt, but it was a much bigger lead in that regard in the previous game, and he wasn't able to get the win, right? What's up, Naya? Welcome. Glad you could make it to the stream. Seeing a lot of people in chat as well I haven't seen in a minute, so thank you, everybody. It's a mix of me trying to talk about a very important series and also thank people and say hi. So if I missed you, I see you. Thank you. Thanks for the subs. Sub counts climbing back up. Makes me feel good about the grind. Yeah, you need a little bit of army here. And Survivalist, he actually... Oh, he didn't see the siege workshop. Now, that's kind of crazy. I assumed he saw that. So he doesn't know there's going to be a siege push. He now sees the barracks, though. But seeing the barracks tells you that your opponent doesn't have any army right now. Yeah, both players thinking about the castle. It is unorthodox to see this many camels, because camels don't counter monks. So normally it's just light cav. I think he added a camel because his opponent had the scout initially. Maybe he assumed that his opponent was adding more scouts or something. Survivalist has a bunch of vills on stone. He's definitely planning around a castle right here. Scout for Thunderbolt goes down. Thunderbolt needs to be careful here. He only has one monk. Let's start a conversion. And the conversion happens. A camel could just be converted right back, though. Siege is being pushed back, at least. This would be a good time for Survivalist to try a defensive castle. Because he's going to lose his army here. Thunderbolt does not see that castle. He doesn't know about it. Keep in mind, he hasn't mined any gold in these areas. He wants to drop the castle there now. Survivalist. There's a mangonel here. Thunderbolt will drop a castle there. There's no defense for the mangonel, but the stupid villager blocked the pathing. The stupid villager bumped it the other way. Villager's been paid off by Survivalist. Now the mangonel hits, but now the castle's going to go up anyways. It would have been close. So, desperate times for both. And Thunderbolt finally comes to the gold, but that castle's not a great castle, in my opinion. You need the castle on the TC if your opponent's doing this, but it was really awkward timings there. Both players are really nervous. A lot of things could have gone wrong. Survivalist is up to imp. It's cheaper for the Byzantines. You have a stronger castle as the Byzantines. And Survivalist has also mined more gold here. So let's look at the gold situation for Thunderbolt. He's got 2 tiles here. He's out of the other gold that was here. Still no TC or anything on this side. This would be a good time for Survivalist to outpost that and even just add a couple spears. Just deny that from him. Thunderbolt, Spearman. He's lost track here. He's run into that TC. He is siege pushing the TC. But yeah, this kind of comes down to the Trebor and potentially the bombard cannons. I think this is a really good spot for Survivalist to be in. I think Survivalist was very fortunate and very lucky that this castle even went up in the first place. Like, that could have so easily been denied, but it wasn't denied. And now we'll have 2 castles here. And, well, it will be 2 castles for Thunderbolt as well. Okay, now this changes things. I'm also curious on if chemistry will ever be researched by either player, because at least in Thunderbolt's case, he could make cannon galleons from the water. But the resources are so at the limit here. Especially the gold for Thunderbolt, which is why this TC is so valuable. It's also why getting the relics is valuable. Really nice job. He's going to have 5 relics. And Survivalist is just walling this. He's not going to send any army here. There's pros and cons to that. I really think having some army over there to have denied the TC would have been good, but he's going to focus all of his attention on the Trebor. Thunderbolt needs to delete the Siege Workshop. You cannot give your opponent a Siege Workshop in this scenario. He's not going to do it. It does definitely feel like Monks is his kryptonite so far in this series. I mean, this shouldn't even be close with the Trebor. Shouldn't even be close. Survivalist has 2 castles. They have way more HP. Survivalist has more villagers around as well for repairs and things like that because he's had this town center here. University for Survivalist. He'll go for chemistry. So he's probably wants bombard cannons. And now he has the siege workshop for the bombard cannon. And Thunderbolt's going to try condos. I mean, condos are a good unit. It's a good timing unit with the Italians, but running underneath castles isn't so good for them. Running into monks isn't so good for them. And when the opponent could just make cataphracts, that's also a weakness. The fire galleys patrol in this way. The monks are ready for a survivalist. He says, I'll take water back, thank you. Converts the fires. Now he can start to think about water again. And Thunderbolt getting desperate right now. He does lose his first castle. This keeps him in the game. The 5 relics as well keeps him in the game. The 33 on food versus Survivalist 13 keeps him in the game. So you just have to lose this area slowly, right? You're going to lose this side, but just don't lose it all at once. And then you have to have some preparation at home for when the army and navy eventually could come over. I guess there's not much of a navy from Survivalist, but... yeah, you can just give up this area and be fine if you're Thunderbolt. But you need to be ready back at home. And I'm not sure what army type is really the best play there. Survivalist has gone for 7 Trebs, bro. 7 Trebs. And 7 monks. And a couple cataphracts in queue. He sees the condos, so monks are not a bad play. Trebs are still up. Castle's going up over here for Thunderbolt. And now the condos will dive for those Trebs. Will the castle stay up for Survivalist? One of the Treb shots actually missed there. It just straight up missed. It didn't hit. Hoardings is about to come in as well last second. Condos are getting converted now. Hoardings adds even more HP onto the castles. Will this castle stay up for Survivalist? There's only 2 Trebs for Thunderbolt. The condos did not work at all. Castle still being repaired. 1,500 stone for Survivalist. And he now has more condos than the opponent does. Thunderbolt needs to be ready with conversions. He isn't ready with the conversions, and he only has 1 Treb. And he will officially lose his side. The score tells you it's over. It's actually very far from it. He still has 5 relics. He still has all this access to golds. The thing that he needs, though, is he needs to brace himself for the push. I think it's going to take Survivalist a minute to get whatever his plan is forward here. So I like this. I think using the water. Thunderbolt's completely forgot about that. If he uses the water, things could be huge. This castle from Survivalist is crazy because Thunderbolt can not only deny this with condos, but he can just immediately make a Treb. And also, a tiny detail Survivalist might not know, but if you click these Trebs to the other side, they can roll through the middle. You can see some units are going through the middle now. Thunderbolt needs this win. He needs it big time. He's going to try and raid it home. Survivalist will drop a defensive castle. This castle, which again I'd consider suspect, is actually going to complete. Maybe. I mean, he had an outpost there. He knew his opponent had a castle. His thinking is, let's just get back to the other side. Castle. Oh, it goes up with the final Vil. That's 8,000 HP. That's not going to be fun. But that's the thing, man. It's like Survivalist is just... He does stuff like that. Castle could go down. We got villagers kind of all over the place. Thunderbolt's going to try and keep the harassment here. This is good for Thunderbolt. Again, he's got 46 on food. And Survivalist isn't pushing the main base at all. He's not pushing that food eco. Cataphracts are out for the condos. Monks are out. We're going to see most of the farming here. Thunderbolt's barracks might be cleared up here in a second. A Thunderbolt doesn't actually have that much gold being mined. I think, if you're wondering what unit to make here, I think he needs to make Light Cav and Hussar. Like, just Light Cav would be so good because the main army from Survivalist is monks and Trebs. That's probably a smart play to delete those barracks. You don't want to give Survivalist the barracks for Halbs later. And condos are still getting Vil snipes. Survivalist is going to push here, though. And so he'll push the TCs. He pushes the food eco. This is the most important thing he's done. Because he could have still taken some time to deal with all this crap. But he really needed to push this fast. Thunderbolt needs to run. Thunderbolt takes the castle. The Thunderbolt is going to need some defense. And Survivalist will push with another castle. And he actually just broke through there. And he'll drop a castle through. Man, imagine some navy from Thunderbolt. Imagine some cannon galleons. It just hasn't even entered his mind here. And the food eco has been the weakness for Survivalist. That is getting much better now. He's at 40 on food. He's just going to send it here. And if he has katas here, I don't think there's an answer. Like, condos is just not going to be enough. TCs are going down, so it'll be really tough for Thunderbolt to replenish vills. He'll drop another TC over here now. There's actually a push over here from him, though. So Survivalist has to be careful about that. This castle is going to complete. We do still have random red dots running around, finding kills. But so much of Thunderbolt's eco has to be relocated right now. So much of it's not working. He's got 50 villagers either building or running right now, and it doesn't seem like it's enough. Unless he can get into Survivalist's main base somehow. But with what? Survivalist should just continue the push, by the way. Just, you get this castle, cool. Build another one right there. Treb all this down, like... He's doing everything right. He just needs to hold it home right now. And this is the right play from Thunderbolt as well, I guess, right? You got to send some pressure to take down the main area. It's just so little military compared to what you probably need to sustain this. Again, Survivalist can just send all of his cav through the middle and back here. It's just not something you realize unless you play the map a lot. So he can just be right over there with cataphracts and be fine. But he's still chilling over here. Still so much eco exposed for Thunderbolt. He's going to run there, hope to keep some semblance of an eco. Farms are getting spammed. Gold count's looking good. But now his food count's not good. That's why he drops the market. The Survivalist is still no army here to stop these Trebs. Is there a chance? I mean, Arbalest could be a great call here for Thunderbolt. He's got wood and he's got gold, if he can get the upgrades. Survivalist is like, all right, we'll just let you guys die in here. We'll let the base die. We'll just run away. TC goes down. Elite Cataphract on the way for Survivalist. He's going to repair this castle now. He is getting conversions on houses. He actually converted the blacksmith, which is hilarious, because Thunderbolt needs blacksmith upgrades. And now he immediately researches it, too. That's funny. So he's got 2 blacksmiths now for his tech, so he can pump up the numbers and upgrades in these cataphracts. Yeah, Genoese crossbowman would be a great call for Thunderbolt. He does have 2 castles. So Arbalest isn't the most exciting move with that in mind. And now the relics are gone, so now Survivalist can take this. Look at this. Survivalist. He just run. He's like, just passing. See ya. This is like the 3rd or 4th group of vills he's just leaving his base with right by the army. It looks ridiculous. But he continues to push here. I wouldn't put the relics right here if I'm Survivalist. I would back them up. Like, you don't want the relics right next to this push because there could be a big pushback from Thunderbolt. The cataphracts will chase down the Trebs. I might not be able to survive, but another game where Thunderbolt doesn't have ballistics early. So maybe some Trebs actually get sniped here. Thunderbolt's condos are raiding. No way, dude. You stupid condos. Man, Survivalist doesn't see this. If those are not on stand ground and they're on attack stance, look at all the kills he could be getting. Oh, Survivalist does see it. Oh, man. Well, Katas will kill that. Katas will kill that, no problem. Survivalist is getting Logistica now. He has full armor on elite cataphracts, and here he is. Time for Thunderbolt to face the music. He has to deal with this. Also, the relics did go somewhere else. I don't know where. Yeah, they're going back here. Smart move. Just a little shipment of relics, sire. I know we have all the gold in the world, but relics are good as well. 5 relics headed back. Here's Arbalest for Thunderbolt. He's got 40 more arbs in queue, but will he be able to keep his castle up? think the Katas could dive here if they wanted to. I think that's definitely an option. It's going to be full Cataphract from Survivalist. We haven't seen Halb. We haven't seen Skirm. We are about to see some Navy, though. He did sneak a dock up. He's going to go for Dramens. And Dramens from the shoreline with the Trebs would be huge. Just like game number 1, Thunderbolt collected more resources. But the fights have just not been quite good enough. And Survivalist holds on. And the Cataphracts, not something you see every day. They are going to destroy here. The trample damage from Logistica is insane. The HP is solid enough. You've got 150 HP. And obviously, Survivalist has the castles to produce them. And he's got the gold to produce them as well. Thunderbolt went from 180 pop to 90 population in about 45 seconds. Cataphracts just destroyed everything. And on Thunderbolt's home map, Survivalist is about to get the win, and Survivalist does. 2-0 up for Survivalist. 1 win away from getting into at least the Silver League. And again, it's like, it's really fascinating because both openings are a little bit awkward, like in both games. But the longer the game goes, the more dangerous he is, the more he just hangs on. He does a really good job maxing out as well. Like, he didn't seem that concerned about his main base. I think a lot of people are freaking out there. He's like, yeah, whatever. As long as I don't lose my main group of Katas and Trebs, I can get the push going. I think Thunderbolt could have denied this castle. Like, building the castle, I don't know when it was exactly now. Yeah, building this castle with essentially no defense is absolute lunacy. Like, this is crazy, right? And then this villager might have lost the game for Thunderbolt. Watch. He clicks the Vils. She walks in, goes, boop! And this lovely game with its pathing basically told the Mangonel, oh, you can't go there anymore. And then the Mangonel had to back the whole way around, do a little loop, and it wasn't there to deny the castle. Like, that Mangonel should be going forward. That Mangonel should be hitting the Vils. That castle should be denied, and that changes the game. And at this point, Thunderbolt already had the villager lead as well. But at the same time, these tiny things matter, right? And if Thunderbolt had that siege out a little bit faster, I believe he lost one Mangonel before this to the Camels. Like, credit to Survivalist for at least realizing he had to get the castle down fast. So, a lot of stuff at play there. It's got to be frustrating for Thunderbolt because both games he has shown promise. But now he's down 2-0. So, he's going to have to turn it up, obviously. I do think there's a positive. And the positive is that all the maps remaining for Survivalist are pretty good if he can get past Zong. So, like, if Thunderbolt can win the next game, win Zong, Kilimanjaro as a home map for Survivalist is fine for Thunderbolt. That's a map he's really comfortable on. So it's not like both maps are an issue for him, I guess, is how I'll say it. But sheesh, man, great games. All right. So it's been a tricky one for Thunderbolt. Again, ahead in every single game, ever so slightly. And then he runs into some problems. More specifically, he has run into monks. This is not a map where I think Survivalist can rely on monks. But, I mean, he is Armenians, and maybe he will try some fast castle shenanigans with the churches. Church rush is, of course, a possibility. Armenians have the mule carts as well. That's for some nice little flexibility. I see some people in my Twitch chat mentioning ads. I will always run ads as much as I can in between games. There will occasionally be some ads that maybe run into the Dark Age or something, but doing my best with that. That's just kind of how it goes. You can subscribe for free with Twitch Prime, or you could pay to sub. It does mean you have no ads. It also supports the stream. It also gives you all the emotes, which no one in my chat is using right now, which is just because we're not at a good moment for it. But yeah, there's going to be ads. It just happens. I can't avoid it. If I don't manually run them in between games, they will happen later. So, sorry. Thank you, B Driven, for the dono, by the way. Says, thanks, T90, for all the time you devote to the community. Thank you, B Driven. Thank you, One Time Pad. Thank you, Fred Lord. Thank you, Well Dinfit. So yeah, sorry I said that. Palmat, welcome back. 12 Angry Birds. Schlumpf. Emperor. Thank you, guys. So, Shu for Thunderbolt. And it's not a civ that I was necessarily expecting here, but it's not a civilization that I necessarily hate. I find the Shu early game is really solid. I think playing into archers and scouts could be the game plan here. You don't want to rely too heavily on cav with the Shu. But it feels like Thunderbolt's been picking a lot of archer civs today. This version of Acropolis, there's the fish in the middle. So I would expect players to dock. A lot of these builds have been tight builds to try and win the water fast, even though there's not a lot of fish here. But game number 1, Survivalist didn't dock at all. And so I'm wondering if he even knows this. Like, I'm going to assume that this is something that he's aware of. But also, Survivalist has not been playing the meta whatsoever. Part of that is getting Loom, by the way. Loom is an interesting choice. That puts him down a villager now. I wonder why. Did he think he was pop-capped? It seems like a villager's going to run out to the middle right now. Meanwhile, Thunderbolt's already on the middle, adding the fishing ship. So Thunderbolt's build up. Definitely sharper. And Thunderbolt will bring in his boar, and everything's looking good. Also pushing his final deer. Long-term, wood is a really big concern on this map because of all the wood lines at the bottom. And Survivalist will see the dock. And Survivalist will dock as well. Okay, so he is going to do it. That's a good call. I would say you should always do that here. You don't have to, but I think the bigger thing is you should probably add 2 fishing ships, but then it's a matter of how much you want to contest on water. This was, I'll be honest, kind of a failed experiment. If I use Acropolis again, I will remove the fish. But the water's always been there, so back when we did this for Season 4, I thought, oh, let's see what happens if we spice it up a little bit. It's not great, I think, that like everyone, it's like a must dock situation. It feels like really strong to have it. It's changed the map a little bit. It's not necessarily the type of games we were looking for. Does Thunderbolt not see his boar? Or does he not need his boar? Interesting. So he doesn't take his boar. He loses his sheep because he didn't have it underneath the TC. He is on the way to Feudal Age, though, without the second boar, which is pretty impressive. It almost feels like Survivalist wants to lame that Vil. Like he's waiting for the boar to be brought in, and then he wants to kill it. It definitely is what he's doing there, lurking in the darkness, right? I mean, Loom is already in for Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt doesn't actually need the food right now if his plan is to go a lot on wood and a lot on gold to win the water. Survivalist has the mule carts. He'll go to gold and to wood as well, I imagine. And Thunderbolt's just going to push in this deer here. So crazy build to not even take your boar. You do get food income when you chop trees, though, with this civ. So putting a lot on wood to win water is great. And then also you're getting food income from that. I think this civ is really, really, really strong. How long does Survivalist sit there? Like, he's also not moving at all, which is wild. I wouldn't be able to help myself. I'd be moving my unit a little bit. He adds a barracks. So he might be thinking about... And he's definitely thinking about land army. And then Thunderbolt will do the same. And Thunderbolt bringing his villager here. He wants to wall in Survivalist so Survivalist can't escape there. He needs to hit everyone so Survivalist can't get out. I don't know if Survivalist sees this. Survivalist could still escape. Okay, that villager's trapped now and a fire galley's on the way. The scout for Survivalist sees the archery range opening from Thunderbolt. Still no boar, by the way. And Survivalist still no... Oh, that's interesting. Okay, Survivalist... What? He queued a demo, and then he queued a transport ship, and then he canceled it. What is happening right now? All right, well, he's not doing anything just yet. He's adding an archery range. Transport ship is definitely not the play. And it looks like he just realized his villager's been trapped in, and he'll drop a stone wall so the fire galley doesn't roast the Vil. All right, so he wasn't exactly certain on what to do there. Now the scout could come in from Thunderbolt if he deletes his wall and kill that. But he needs to delete his wall. My friend, you need to delete your wall. Okay, now he deletes the wall. That's funny. That's really good play from Survivalist. Nice play from Thunderbolt as well, of course. But yeah, now the villager, now he can escape. It could be an archer and a spear on the way. A Thunderbolt could definitely save this villager because the scout's not strong enough, and you do not want to lose your scout if you're Thunderbolt. A villager could escape. Archers haven't moved out yet. Boar still hasn't been taken, by the way. And it will be archers as well from Survivalist. So this will get real messy. Messy could be good for the mule cart player, though. The 2 fishing ships are working for Thunderbolt. I mean, that is not an insane eco boost, but it is something. And again, Thunderbolt with the faster start. Is he going to eat his boar or not, guys? What do you think? I think it gets too awkward to take it. I think you just farm now. He's not going to take it. Archers are sitting at home in the range. Thunderbolt could have fletching here in a second. Dude, if he gets fletching, he should just mop up everything Survivalist has. But Survivalist doesn't have it yet. Oh, he's going to have it now as well, though. Fletching timing would just be a little bit off for him, and Survivalist does see that his opponent's on the way. And honestly, it just seems really sharp from Thunderbolt. I know the scoreline suggests that Survivalist is going to be able to hold on, but the opening has been sharper. It's been super smooth. It's been super confident. He looks comfortable right now. But this is just on the back of 2 games where we've seen that, and then Survivalist holds on. Survivalist also mixing in the farms. Probably should mix in some skirms right now. And he falls back to the hill. The scout did die for him. And making heavy skirmishers against the shoe is a pretty good play. Those obviously those shoe is primarily an archer civ. Now look how quickly Survivalist just sent this army forward. He's thinking I could defend with skirms. He's actually not defending with skirms. He's making more archers, so this is really risky. But he's going to go forward to Thunderbolt's base. Thunderbolt still has some army at home, but he might not have enough. And now Survivalist is hoping to wall. But this is a really difficult map to wall. And this is wide open on the right side. Thunderbolt might see this and just assume it's fully walled, though. If he moves in right now, this is so good for him. But he thinks Survivalist is going to see him and deal with him, even though Survivalist doesn't have the numbers yet. And now Survivalist is being sneaky. And Survivalist is looped all around this little front wall. And he's killing the boar. Well, there's our answer. Boar's not going to be taken. Thunderbolt clicks up to Castle Age. That's crazy. But Thunderbolt has no clue that army's back there. Will he notice that? Okay, he sees it now. He loses a Vil. Has to pull all of his army. It's a crazy Castle Age time from Thunderbolt. It's arguably too fast. Because his eco is really at the limit right now. Eco for Survivalist isn't fantastic either, though. He does have random armies around, random idle villagers, needs to get his wall down. And there's no skirmishers in this group. The Thunderbolt's on 2 ranges. If he can get crossbow and bodkin, he will have a massive Castle Age advantage to potentially kill Survivalist and stay alive in the series. And look at that micro with the scout. Still no real offensive army behind this. Survivalist is defending over on this side. Survivalist is defending over on this side with skirms. And I like this from Thunderbolt. You don't want to chase this with your Castle Age advantage. You want to get kills. Still very awkward open area for Survivalist. Neither player has left their hill for wood. Survivalist might still think he's being chased here. And he's not, because Thunderbolt's going to advance forward. This Castle Age time is insane. This is without his boar. Shu are really OP, in my opinion. It's a really good civ. But also, you got to play that perfectly, and he pretty much has. Just, can he get the damage? Crossbow and bodkin's on the way. Both players are really going to want a town center on these bottom wood lines, especially on the front of your base so you can see armies come and go. Sneak army from Survivalist. Thunderbolt has this scout on patrol hoping to find that. That's a smart play from Survivalist. Thunderbolt can just run around here. He doesn't need, like, you can't wall to the edge of the map. I assume he knows that. He could just run around. I guess he also could just break through the wall. So that's probably better than running around because you can escape easier. Sneaky Survivalist army. How does he defend for the next 2 minutes? It's like, what do you even tower? Obviously, you want a tower, but like in a normal circumstance, you want a tower. Somewhere better than that. And Survivalist goes to the farms. He didn't go to the wood line. He went to the farms. If he went to the wood line, he would have killed a bunch of vills, but he went to the area nearby and... Oh, man, all hell is breaking loose here. Thunderbolt wanted to micro and get kills earlier in this series. No better time, man. Here you go. Send it. If Survivalist didn't have mule carts, it's over. Thankfully, he can just bring his mule carts. And let's see if he can actually survive. He'll drop a church here for some defense. He drops a TC. He still doesn't have Elite Skirm on the way, or Bodkin. This army here gets completely mopped up. And Thunderbolt will see the church is there now. Probably knows the villagers are there as well. Okay. So, second TC for Thunderbolt. If your opponent has skirms, you probably should want some siege now, but... Okay, he sees the TC now. I think a siege workshop right nearby would be perfect. You just can't let this get denied. So, it's a little risky to build it that far forward if Survivalists were to move out. 2 TCs for both. Eco's still a little awkward for Survivalists. He's pretty heavy on stone right now. Neither player opting for a university for ballistics. I wonder why Survivalist is on stone. Is he thinking about like a forward castle after a big fight or something? Siege workshop completes. The Thunderbolt will have issues at home. If skirms counterattack, it'll actually get really awkward. But, I mean, they have to run a long way. They have to run all the way over here. And honestly, Thunderbolt can just move these vills to another wood line. He doesn't need to be up there anymore. Survivalist is going to expect the pressure, which might be why he's on stone. Someone asking about Huang. Unfortunately, Huang doesn't really sign up for tourneys anymore, man. I would have loved to see Huang play in Titans League, but I think Huang is just not interested in playing tourneys. He's got the skill to, but everyone's getting so good, and everyone prepares, and everyone grinds, and it's maybe just not for him. I'm not sure. Siege does come home for Thunderbolt. And Survivalist just caught a glimpse of that. Survivalist with no defense for this army now. Like, he needs defense here. He needs skirms, but he doesn't have food eco for skirms, and Thunderbolt's just going to take down his farms. Smart play. I mean, you can't kill the vills. Take something. Don't just sit there. Needs to gather up all his siege now and needs to think about pressuring this TC, in my opinion. But also, at the same time, against Survivalists in the previous games, he didn't just boom with the army lead. And that's what he's doing. And that's what I like this tweak from Thunderbolt. This is Survivalist's weakness. If someone tries to all in against him, he'll somehow, like, pull it together and hold on. But if you get the lead and then you just play towards Imperial Age with a better economy, things can go well for you. Like, what is Survivalist thinking right now? Like, what is he doing right now? Why is he here? The Siege Workshop has been there for 5 minutes. And okay, well, game over. Thunderbolt gets some momentum. I really don't know what Survivalist was thinking there, but he didn't survive that one. And Thunderbolt honestly just played it super clean. That Castle Age time was ridiculous. He just dominated every single fight. His eco management was perfect. And so there's one map of the next 2 for Survivalist I think he can't do that on, and that is going to be Zong. That's more of an arena-style map, and that's where Survivalist would maybe be favored. But if he can win on Zong in Game 4, get to Game 5, which is on Kilimanjaro, we could have a banger on our hands. As for Survivalist in this game, I think clearly he's going to drop a castle. I'm still a little confused on like the positioning of his armies and like the lack of army and where the castle was going to go, but he was really far behind. So makes sense to try something extreme at that point. All right, now Thunderbolt had two choices. He had humans, which he picked number 1, and then he also had Burgundians, which he picked up later on. And humans would have been very dangerous because Celts are great at pressuring the second TC boom. So I think after he saw Celts, he was like, yeah, there's absolutely no way that I would ever be okay with going humans against Celts. Now, I watched Survivalists do some practice on this map. It's the only map I ever saw him practice, and he picked Celts. And he went for some weird, like, spearman archer play into adapt. I'm not sure I was in love with everything I saw, but I love the fact that he prepped and he got some experience in to at least think about how things are going to play out. And I think Burgundians should be very, very good here. You have the early eco upgrades, but that's if Thunderbolt plays meta and sometimes against meta, you know? So there's a bit of wonder, there's a bit of intrigue on what exactly Survivalist is even going to try here. Because normally with Celts, it's like Celt ETC, make siege, make infantry, and then you know, nuke the opponent's eco. Akimbo says, what's the definition of a pro player? Everyone's definition of a pro player is a little bit different. So I'll let chat decide on that. I think if you're top 100, you're pro. I think that's a pretty fair bar to set. You could say if you make silver in Titans League, you're pro, which would be like top 72 in the world if you want to make a different cut on that. But everyone's going to have a different mark. There's even people who are like, nah, you know, everyone who's 2,400, 2,500 elo is a casual. You know, some people don't even think that elo qualifies, but I'd say these guys are certainly in the conversation. Like the winner here, maybe you consider a pro, right? Would become silver at least. Someone says if you can make a living off the game, you're a professional. Damn, I've been a pro for... Oh, I'm a pro? Thank you, Herp de Derp. I don't know if I could really feel good about that because your name is Herp de Derp, but... Yeah, everyone's got a different definition. I would say elo-wise, 23, 2,400 elo. You start to earn some money in tournaments. And then there's levels amongst the pros, right? And then you can start to talk about it from there. So, details on the map, right? You obviously have an arena-style map. You've got these relics along the middle. This map is a bit weird. You've got these shrines you start with. You can't produce monks out of them. You can produce priest, which is a cheaper, worse version than a monk. It's only 5 range. But you can't even put the relics inside of here. But part of the reason you might pick Celts is their wood efficiency, and you could focus down this tree and then the next tree, and you could start to make a couple priests. Survivalist being 3 on wood really makes me think that he's going to go Feudal Age here for something. I wouldn't necessarily hate that with the Burgundians, because the faster you're in Feudal Age, the faster you get the Castle Age eco upgrades with this Civ. He also has a Villager on gold already. Villager on gold is kind of a unique setup. That would, again, make me think he's going to make a priest. And it looks like he already does have the priest. He actually used the scout to bring in a boar and just healed it up. So again, prep. That's a nice little detail there I didn't think about. Don't think you need to be in the biggest rush and have the craziest uptime, by the way. Because sometimes if you go too fast, your eco suffers. A little confused now. Now he's going for Horse Collar. Now I'm not sure I'm necessarily in love with Thunderbolt's plan, but he's not going fast feudal yet. And Survivalist goes for 2 lumber camps, which is great for your efficiency on eco. And I'm assuming we're going to have a barracks here. Again, I just caught a glimpse of his Dark Age build with the Celts. He had some Vills on gold. The thinking might be to get these relics as quickly as possible, right? Myobola says you are not a you are pro caster, not pro player, T90. Okay, Myobola. A unrelated question, Myobola. Can you possibly tell me what your elo is? I know, you didn't say you were pro. And you didn't expect me to call you out, but my feelings can get hurt too, you know? All right? My feelings can get hurt too. What's your elo? My elo is the same as these guys. Oh, you were joking, though. Okay, well. I'm the guy who isn't good enough to go pro, so they just put him in front of a mic, you know? That's not exactly accurate, but whatever. Okay, so Spearman on the way for Survivalist. Keep an eye on those starting scouts. Neither player has a stable for more. Thunderbolt's still in Dark Age. I mean, the villagers on golds early makes me think that he deviated his plan a little bit. But still, his eco is going to be pretty solid. Oh, and he is getting... Oh my god, no way. He's actually getting one. Survivalist didn't notice. The Survivalist didn't even scout them all, guys. You are in Feudal Age. Your scout will always kill the priest very easily. You know the relic. You should know the relics are always here. Always. And then you look at the minimap. I think maybe he just noticed it's gone. But, I mean, that's going to be one relic back. And you're just going to sit it in there and be happy with it. And this could be another relic. If Thunderbolt makes no army and gets 2 relics, I don't know if I've ever seen that before. I don't think Survivalist even realizes it's not there. Like, look at him move towards it. I don't know what's going through his mind right now, but this is just not a good spot to be in. So when you play this, right, what you want to do is you just want to scout this line. That way you always see the relics on the minimap. It is sometimes hard to see the relics because of the little statue there. But yeah, he'll come over here, and he's not going to see this one either. And that is 2 relics inside. That realistically should never happen. That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, and maybe you get lucky. Maybe you get another one, but I kind of doubt it. There's the priest. Okay, spear could be converted. Survivalist needs to delete that. Survivalist will probably bring his scout over. And Thunderbolt's going to go for number 3 now. And that'll be a kill. So, I think Survivalist build is to fight the scout play. So, he's building up all this army for when the opponent or if the opponent adds scouts. And his opponent simply never did that here. And he was focused on making the army instead of using his starting scout. And not another one, bro! Thunderbolt's gonna get another one! Survivalist is like all these spears and archers and the scout. He's been in Feudal Age. He's gonna get another one! Ah, that's brutal. And I don't think he's fully prepped. And I think Thunderbolt played a lot of practice sessions for this. But holy cow, man. Okay, so now if you're Thunderbolt, on paper, you could just play skirmishers. You could boom, but you could also play just like skirms, maybe some scouts to stop this with some map control siege pushing your base. But opening skirms at this point feels really uncomfortable. He's probably just going to drop the second TC. He's going to get the relics and wait. But you do have to be worried about Celts, right? Because Survivalist is going to know he's down relics. Survivalist is going to have a lot of army. And it would be a very Celt thing to walk forward with his siege workshop. But yeah, that's wild to me. 3 relics with no army to properly protect it against full army. Just not something we've really seen a lot of. Now, res collected. Thunderbolt's not that far ahead. Survivalist is now on the way to Castle Age as well. And if Thunderbolt commits to too big of a boom here, this could get problematic. You do need the golds and the stones on this map. I've seen players with 5 relics lose a lot because they lose access to the middle. So, advantage for Thunderbolt, yes. But still, could be more than fine here for Survivalist. Thunderbolt's going to lose a Vil. Huh! Huh! No, he doesn't lose the Vil. Wow. Has no loom, so, Archers Probably should have killed that villager there. Very unlucky for Survivalist, honestly. Okay, Monastery in the back. That way the relics are nice and safe from a push. That's good. It's second TC's in the back, and now a third TC for Thunderbolt. So he's going full boom. A little risky. You know, if you play towards a little bit of army right now, you start to kill those archers off, and then you boom. That's maybe the safer play against Celts. But we don't know how Survivalist is going to play it. I think in the position Survivalist is in, he needs to be forward siege. And he needs to apply pressure against the relics in the boom. Thunderbolt completes his town center. Thunderbolt can take this to a 5th game, guys. Which would be on Survivalist's home map, but it's Kilimanjaro, which is really good for Thunderbolt's skill set. He's an Arabia-style player. This is the toughest test for him. Second TC for Survivalist. Doesn't feel like we're going to see a lot of pressure at all. And I imagine he's just going to drop a third TC now. Because there's nothing in the middle. Okay, he'll drop the monastery. Just to get the relics in. And he goes for crossbow. I would love to see Thunderbolt, based on what we know, play full army in Castle Age. Like double stable, like Cavalier, light cav, just like take the map control back. But his resources are looking so crazy. He might be thinking Imperial Age is an option here. I guarantee you he never faced Celts in his practice sessions, and I guarantee you he never faced, like, crossbow. This is a really different thing to be up against here. So you're now adapting when you don't have the information. Your practice almost works against you because you've never seen this before. He expects siege from Survivalist. 100%. And he just lost his scout, so he is paranoid there's going to be siege out here. But there's not. It's just a boom. Survivalist has some spears sitting on the outside on both sides. Scout's actually over here. And he does take down the outposts. Needs to pay close attention to Thunderbolt's next move. And there's the Siege Workshop for Survivalist. Will he go Siege Tower? Survivalist likes the Siege Towers. I think Mangonel is the way better play. Because you can take down buildings with it. And it's more of a long-term thing. But, I mean, he hasn't seen the Siege from Thunderbolt. So Siege Tower might feel kind of nice. It's important that he sees the Siege. And, yeah, he sees the Siege. So now, skipping the Siege Tower is a good play. Imp is on the way for Thunderbolt, but Imp into what, dude? Imp into what? Imp with 55 vills, he's not going to be able to afford a lot, right? This actually gives Survivalists a bit of a chance to... Let me turn this around. If he gets a 4th and a 5th TC down, he's got a lot of time with big eco. Archer range for Thunderbolt, so I think the plan is Gunpowder. The University's up as well. Gunpowder could be sick. Micro from Survivalist is sick. And Thunderbolt backs away. Yeah, so hand cannons, bombard cannons, and then maybe a castle in the middle. Wow, Survivalist is even dropping a TC in the middle. Yeah, so if hand cannons and bombard cannons clear this up, all the eco gets killed as well. I like the patience from Thunderbolt. Careful. Be careful. I say I like the patience, and then he almost gets a little too crazy. Nice shot, though. Look at the Vill count now. When you have 3 TCs and 1 is going Imp, that's only 2 TCs producing Vills. Survivalist is going to have 4 TCs producing Vills. So his Vill count will pass Thunderbolts, but his eco upgrades and the relics and all these things we talked about, they have been worse for a while. Defensive castle from Thunderbolt. Chemistry takes some time, so that's a good choice, in my opinion. Immediately clicks chemistry. Oh man, I'm real nervous right now, dude. I kind of want this to go to 5 games. let's be real, I do want this to go to 5 games. I feel like Thunderbolt deserves 5 games because the first 2 games was just so close. Now, saying he deserves it's maybe a little harsh. The reality is he was so close and just wasn't able to take advantage of his leads. But he has been ahead at the start of every single game in this series. And, like, some real weird stuff from Survivalist sometimes, which has panned out. This game, I'm not really sure it will. Let's see how many hand cannons Thunderbolt can make. Survivalist, of course, saw Imp. And he then sees the castle, so he can't really do too much. Celts really struggle against gunpowder, but ironically, crossbows are a pretty good option, for now at least. Survivalist might be thinking about a castle in the middle right now, if he's about to get pushed. I love the outpost. I'd like to see Thunderbolt actually just take out the outpost. Maybe build some of his own. You don't want your opponent to have an idea of what you're sending. And Survivalist can see all of it right now. 3 bombard cannons in the queue right now for Thunderbolt. It's pretty crazy. Take out the outpost, dude. Castle there. Can Survivalist get up? Can he get to Imp? Bill count's tied now. Man, Thunderbolt, I know you can't hear me right now, but I just want you to know that I'm tilted that you're not taking out the outpost. Just destroy the outpost, please. Oh, God, there's the siege tower. There's the siege tower. Okay. So there is a siege tower. Siege workshop goes down. He's just like, yeah, go ahead. You could see everything from me. That's fine. Go ahead and see my every move. But he's focusing on his units here. He's focusing on the micro. He sees the TC. Survivalist is going to stay in Castle Age and try some weird siege tower plays and try running close to this stuff. Something I've seen from him many times before, but this is a sign that things have gone very, 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 very wrong. Or if you're a siege tower fan, very, very right. You only can put 10 units in there. So he wants to use the siege tower as an escort to get close and snipe the siege. He's no choice, he feels, but to stay in Castle Age right now. Thunderbolt needs all of his units together. He needs to be attacking that castle, and he needs to be ready. Also would love a gate here for later on, but that's not that important. Let's see. Woad Raiders are loading into the tower. Thunderbolt will move out with another castle here. This castle's almost down, so Survivalist is going to need to try his trick fast. Is this ever have a chance? This is first pick Celts, by the way. This is like the pick. No, I think he was first pick Byzantine, second pick Celts. Honestly, Thunderbolt has 3 relics. I don't think you need a forward castle right now. You've got your opponent on the brink of defeat. Build a safe castle, protect your push, take the gold. But he's got the crazy energy right now. And if that castle does complete, it might be game over. We might be going to a 5th game. Here goes Survivalist with this weird, clumped up AI-looking army. And he choo-choo in there with the siege tower, which have crazy pierce armor, so you can get in close. That's kind of the point. The Woads are now out. So the Woads will go for the bombard cannons. The castle's at 70%. The bombard cannons all go down. The castle is going to be denied at 80%. The siege tower kind of pays off there. Crazy play. Crazy, crazy, crazy play. Without the siege tower, you don't have a chance to get in close. That's insane. And again, crossbows are half decent as a Castle Age unit against hand cannons. It's not the worst thing ever. Thunderbolt just lost a lot of eco, but Survivalist committed everything to try and deny this. And, well, he's going to lose everything in the end. It was a wild play, but he lost everything to make it happen. And in the end, I don't think it's going to matter. Thunderbolt can complete this castle. Thunderbolt can be knocking on the door. Once the castle's up, all this eco gets hit. We are going to go to a game 5. Thunderbolt, reverse sweep potential here. And, yeah, I mean, Survivalist is dead. I think he's dead. Let's let him cook. Let's let him cook. But, I mean, another castle's on his face now. TCs will start to die to bombard cannons and maybe trebs. Thunderbolt's got access to all this gold. Thunderbolt can add cav from the castles. It just never really, like... Never really got going here for Survivalist. It was just... a whole lot of question marks for me. And now imagine the mentals. You're up 2-0. And then you lose 2 games. The mental edge has to be with Thunderbolt. And now Thunderbolt just has to snag the win. He's done all the hard work. He just has to just push the main base now. He doesn't actually have to be in a big rush because he has a good enough eco now to potentially make a switch into something else. So you don't actually have to send it. Like, Survivalist is still in Castle H. Survivalist has a bunch of random units here. I would just go Cav. Yeah, he tried to make it fancy and move his units away. I think fall back here. He continues to add archery ranges. I would actually add stables personally and go Cavalier here, but you need a meat shield because the siege shenanigans is going to work if you don't have anything that can snipe siege quickly. And so, yeah, Survivalist with his siege shenanigans again. And he takes down the trebs. But again, you take down the trebs at what cost? Rams aren't cheap. The infantry's not cheap. The skirm's not cheap. So you're delaying your death. Like, if Thunderbolt has somewhere to be in 45 minutes, this is a really good strat because he's going to have to leave. But Thunderbolt has blocked out his whole calendar for this. He's fine. Andy Ruski says skirms are cheap. Not when you need Imperial Age. Not when you need all the armor upgrades. Skirms don't cost gold, but skirms aren't actually that cheap. Another castle from Thunderbolt. I like this from Survivalist. He's needed some type of chaos that's not in the main battle. So this is nice, but unfortunately, it's just very short-lived, right? He's going to try again. His pop is high, 165. Yeah, Burgundians have 25% more damage output from their gunpowder, so their gunpowder is some of the strongest in the game. Gunpowder is kind of weak against rams. Survivalist also got a raid in down here. Killed a couple of vills, it seems. The Thunderbolt has 50 hand cannons, man. 50 hand cannons. And the bombard cannons. And he will also drop TCs behind this. Last stand for Survivalist. He'll lose the castle. Castle should go down. Castle does go down. Here comes the choo-choo. Here comes the siege tower. And the siege tower tanks a lot of damage here. So the skirms are getting lots of kills because the siege tower is tanking. Siege tower goes down, though. Woad Raiders will go down as well. Bombard cannons do not die. Survivalist has to push this back. He's still in Castle Age. The Rams go in. More Woad Raiders come in. Man, he's done a crazy job at making so much army, dude. How has he been able to afford all this army with no gold? But okay. I mean, he's trying. But the Rams don't have a lot of HP. And the Rams are going to die. And Thunderbolts could still just make Cavalier now or Coustilier out of the castle. Like, 5 to 10 of those things with the hand cannons, and it's fine. And again, no golden come for Survivalist. I guess he builds a TC. I guess he can take this over here. He's put up a really good fight considering how far behind he's been. But it's a never-ending cycle. Never-ending cycle of death. Oh, he actually has gold here. That'll be castle, though. In order to stay alive, Survivalist just has to spend everything with a worse economy. And he's well within his rights to keep trying, obviously. As I always say, I would prefer... You don't want to be thinking about this loss when you're in the lobby before the next game. So if I'm losing a really important game, and I have a lot of experience with that, I play on for a while. I don't know if that's part of it for Survivalist, but I think there's some logic to it. The Thunderbolt's going to add some Coustilier now. The castle's now down. The gold is denied. The TC for Survivalist is going down. Survivalist is... He's running out of new and unique ways to die right now. I'm also running out of ways to say it's over. We do have a schedule to stick to, Survivalist. Whoa, 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 whoa. Thunderbolt. Careful. I don't know what happened there. That's a good chance for Survivalist. I mean, I'm just waiting for Thunderbolt to add any cav with this army, and then it's fine. Actually, it's still fine. Survivalist finds himself trapped in a corner, surrounded by death and destruction everywhere. And still he fights on. Running out of space. He's got 10% of the map. And he calls the GG. So yeah, listen, I don't know who's going to win this series. But if Survivalist ends up winning this series in game number 5, he's going to need to look at some of these maps and he's going to need to prepare. Because that game, that was a little oof. And it was really good play from Thunderbolt on the other side. Take nothing away from him. But that was... The 3 relics getting into the base against Feudal Age army was crazy. And Thunderbolt boomed perfectly there. And not really under a whole lot of pressure there either. So, 2-2. Next win puts them into the 10K league at least in the new year in silver. And loser is going to have to wait for the next bronze bracket to have a chance. Thunderbolt, more food, more gold, more stone. Obviously had crazy kills as well. And his prep paid off. So we've had the meta from Thunderbolt and the prep from Thunderbolt, and we've had the crazy, chaotic defensive energy from Survivalist. And we're in game 5, where we have Japanese for Survivalist. I believe he's a Canadian who now actually lives in Japan, so a little bit of energy there. And then we've got the Chinese for Thunderbolt. And the Chinese are insanely strong. If you guys watch competitive AoE, you know this. I'm a little surprised that it was not banned in the draft. If Survivalist loses this, there's going to be a lot of draft conversations, but he can push that all out of his mind, all out of my mind, if he just gets the win right here. Or get not the win, sorry, the win right here. But you maintain your villager lead with the Chinese. You have cheaper technologies. The thing that is awkward on this map is there's not as much food. So other maps would have 2 elephants. Here you only just have 1. So you need to push in your zebra. And then you also need a mill, most likely on the fish, and then also on the berries. So you need like a double mill Dark Age, which is actually what the Japanese are insanely good at, as they have the cheaper mills and the cheaper lumber camps. So this is all about the damage Survivalist can do. And when I'm playing Survivalist, I'm kind of thinking it's the reverse. Like, it's all about the damage you can do to Survivalist. At least the Civ matchup here, the Japanese got to be dishing out some damage early. There are maybe some sneaky things you can do, by the way. You could maybe, like, dock the back and add some fishing ships and fish traps. I have seen players do that, but I don't know if that's a Survivalist thing to do. That's more of a Black Forest player thing to do. Woodline's on the back for Thunderbolt. Pushing in what's left of the zebra now. And elephants coming in. I would not mind some early walling here as the Chinese, just to maintain your lead. But you do that, and then your eco's not as smooth. So, long-term, wood is crap, gold is crap, stone is crap, meaning it's just really hard to protect everything on this map. So it's kind of the beauty of it. It's the reason it's in here. It's meant to be really hard to play, really messy. And stone and gold is obviously at the top of the hill. Lots of the wood's up there too, and you cannot build TCs on a lot of these wood lines. Thunderbolt is docking. Interesting. I'm not sure I'm in love with this because the dock is on the front. If the dock was on the back, maybe you can get away with it, but he's actually going for the dock. Meanwhile, we just have the mill for Survivalist. Baj asking T90, how much will the winner of TTL Plat get this season? That information's not public yet, but basically it's a 60K league now. So Plat should be around 60K. As for how much the winner gets, technically it depends on how many games they win in group stage. And again, all that information's not out yet. We've essentially doubled the prize pool to make it 60K. We also have gold going up in prize pool compared to last time, and we've added the Silver League. So in total, Titans League Season 5 has a little bit over $100,000. We're actually over budget by $600. So, but yeah, big money all around. For these guys, winner here moves into the 10K league. And potentially, if they continue to win, could make it into the gold league, which should be around 25, 26K. But yeah, the fishing ship thing is wild. The way my brain works here is I say, I already have a guaranteed Vil lead. I just need to not die. So I would never add the fish because it makes it tougher to play early feudal. Like, your economic transitions are really awkward. That's where I'm at. Like, that's where my brain's at. It's not bad. If you get the, like, make the most of this, it can be good. But it is risky. Militia are on the way from Survivalist. He's not on the way to Feudal Age right now. And Thunderbolt sees this too. Having said that, he is on the way to Feudal Age now. Yeah, and this is what the Japanese can be really good at. It's difficult, guys. Look how open the map is. These trees are really hard to wall between. And so the early militia with the scout could potentially deny all these berries here. And there's not a lot of fish remaining there for those two fishing ships. A fish trap is expensive. It's 100 wood per fish trap. But Survivalist doesn't know what's open over here. Survivalist militia are coming this way. He does have a third militia behind. It wouldn't surprise me if he adds a fourth. I think if you're adding the third now, you need the fourth to protect it. So much walling is needed here. Survivalist hoping to get through. The scout's kind of weak for Thunderbolt. This is how the matchup goes, and the quick walls from Thunderbolt just not happening. Can actually fight this off, though. You could just fight this off, maybe. They're Japanese militia. You don't really want them in here. Oh, man. Thunderbolt's palms are sweaty and mom's spaghetti right now. Well, the additional militia won't make it through. But the second Survivalist is in Feudal Age, he should engage here. Never chase this with two Vils. That's so dangerous for Thunderbolt, man. Yeah, he's actually able to save that very nicely there. Pressure's on. Spear will come over to snipe that scout. That will all but ensure you don't lose Vils then. The Survivalist is still going for Man-at-Arms, which is surprising. The eco is messy for Thunderbolt. And the eco count, a res collected count is pretty close right now. Nice work from Survivalist. He drops an archer range. Obviously, has the mill on the berries now, too, which hasn't happened yet. Man-at-Arm upgrade is in. So much work for Thunderbolt right now just to try and keep his eco alive. It's so frustrating. And Survivalist did a good job with that scout, but he loses it now. Now the first archer is out for Thunderbolt, and he should be okay against these Man-at-Arms. Should be. Look at the wood count for Thunderbolt, though. He might run into some idle TC problems here. Because he was late with the mill, and he wants to seed farms right now, but you can't do so until you build a mill. It would be worth a quick wall here to try and stop these units from getting away. It's getting really annoying to chase these down. But, okay, now he can build the farms. Now he's on the berries. And now he's kind of safe. Scout is actually out and about for Thunderbolt, too. So Thunderbolt should be able to go forward and see what Survivalist is doing, but he hasn't seen it yet. So much to manage here. So he's adding another fishing ship. He's about to run out of the shore fish there, which means the fishing ships will be idle unless he fish traps. Thunderbolt gets housed. So hard to focus on everything you need to do right now. He does not know that Survivalist is out with archers. Scout's only now running forward. Yeah, if you lose archers... If you lose map control at all with range units, your fishing traps just get sniped. I don't think this is worth the risk here. Walls are coming up from Survivalist. Survivalist has a very clean farming eco. 8 farms. He's got Vils on berries. He has gotten housed a couple times. He's going to get Town Watch right now. He does have the army around here. But he's doing a good job to protect this wall. His walls are going to end up being very nice for him here. The scout's there. And the 2 archers for Thunderbolt shouldn't be able to do too much. Shouldn't even be around, actually, with no fletching. But, hold up. There's something happening on the other side. This is what's happening. And Survivalist notices it. Has fletching. Thunderbolt's looking over here, maybe. And Thunderbolt's going to lose these 2 archers. That's really good for Survivalist. If he gets the kill anyways. Yeah, he gets the kill. That's really good. Thunderbolt doesn't have fletching. Survivalist playing clean here. Blacksmith will now come up for him. And it's not this inevitable situation where the Chinese are just way ahead, is it? Seems pretty even right now. I think that's our first fish trap. Okay, so fish trap is going up. Here, Thunderbolt needs to hold. Places a couple houses. He'll have fletching, so he can just come this way. I want to see Survivalist play. I was literally just going to talk about this. I want to see Survivalist not build a market, because he loves his market. Just play 2 range crossbows here. Like, you've got the archer lead already. You have more than enough food eco to bring you towards clicking castle age without the market. Just really lean into the range units here, because if you try and... I guess you can potentially hit the faster castle age with the market. Well, you know what? I don't mind selling the stone either. You don't want to boom against the Chinese. So he's going to try and get the timings, but I'm worried about the numbers now, right? Like if you're only on 1 range and then you lose these 2 units, the count's pretty close in military. Why crossbow if you have CA with bonus versus archers? Because you're going to lose range control, because you don't have the army production right now. Cav archers, you need a lot of time and space to mass, and this is a really brutal map. I only like Cav archers if you... Well, I only like Cav archers if you're way faster to castle age, which he might be. So it is actually an option to consider. It just all comes down to if this army is able to give him some space and time. But Cav archers are pricey. Cav archers are pretty risky. I've seen it before where someone tries and then they just can't get the mass because its base is so open. It's so punishable, right? I'm loving this, though. Lumber camp, efficient. Lumber camp, efficient. Lumber camp, efficient. Lumber camp, inefficient. Lumber camp, forward and exposed. Like, and you're paying full price for the lumber camps if you're Thunderbolt. Yeah, archer count is close. And now Survivalist walks over. He sees the fish traps. And he can just take a 100-wood fish trap. But he's attacking the fishing ship. Take the fish trap. Take the fish trap. Fish traps are more vulnerable. That's still annoying. It's not... If Thunderbolt loses the game, it's not because of this. But I just don't know if the headache was worth it. You have the back dock, I kind of like it. But with the water being on the front, would have loved to see double mill here. Here's Survivalist. Survivalist will go for crossbow. Is he 1 range? He's 1 archer range. 1 archer range. But if he gets 1 archer range, fast ballistics, he could kill 2 archer range. I don't think Thunderbolt knows the army is there right now. He will have his work cut out for him. He'll need to leave this wood line. Crossbows are here. Upgrades are in. Survivalist 1 kill. This would be super clean for Survivalist if he can get ballistics right now as well. He just can't lose his army. Thunderbolt has so little wood in his base right now. Another villager's exposed. 3 villagers down now. And ballistics is on the way for Survivalist. Damn. Just 1 archer range. It's crazy. But if he clears this, if he kills all of Thunderbolt's army, this will get really intense. Thunderbolt is going to run to this corner and drop a second TC on wood. Thunderbolt will also have crossbow and bodkin, but he might not expect ballistics from Survivalist. The second he notices it, I expect him to really start to micro away from it. Yeah, he'll know now. Now he finds out. Now he has to micro away from it. But the fish traps go down. Survivalist is playing so clean. So clean. This is so good. Amazing value. Capture Age doesn't track when you kill fish traps. So there's the fishing ships and the fish traps. But now there's skirms. Skirms that don't have the armor upgrade and don't have ballistics. But Thunderbolt could potentially kill this now. And then what is the choice for Survivalist? He's also going to go for skirms. Still 1 TC. Just brought a bunch of villagers to stone. He's going to have more on stone than on gold. Nice little spot for Thunderbolt here. He's got a gold back there, guys. That's a crazy little find. That's like essentially a neutral gold. He came here for wood, but having that gold's really nice. Thunderbolt on 2 town centers. Is ahead now in eco. He moves forward, and I missed it. I'm so sorry, but he killed 2 villagers. 3 villagers here. And there's a hole in the woodline, Survivalist. Where's your production? Where's your follow-up? Again, it was that one range, right? Oh, and he loses everything over here. It was one range, and then that was like it. It was like one range, crossbows, ballistics, and then you need that consistent follow-up. Nice shot from Thunderbolt. Still 1 archer range for Survivalist. You need so much more army on this map than other maps because the map's so open. Look at the eco lead now for Thunderbolt. Is he about to bring it back after losing the first 2 games? His eco has also seen better days, let's be real. Farm count needs to be improved. Eco upgrades could be better. But he's going to come to the hill. He's going to come to the all-important hill and drop a siege workshop. A Survivalist just drops the 3rd TC. I think it's the amount of villagers that have been on stone for Survivalist that has really set his eco back. He had like 12 vills on stone. He's trying to be sneaky. He has a couple units here and a couple units here, but his res are at the limit now. He will drop the 2nd range now. Still just 2 town centers for Thunderbolt, but if Thunderbolt can move to the middle now with the TC, yeah, this is how you play this map. You're essentially fighting to never have to deny the opponent's potential to TC the top and take it yourself. I actually had a conversation with Thunderbolt the other day. I was watching him, it was like a week and a half ago, playing on Kilimanjaro to get rank for Titans League. And I had like a 5-minute discussion about it, always having a siege workshop on this hill and how that was the thing that he was missing. But honestly, he's still missing a TC here. He's still missing ballistics. And Survivalist hangs around. And if Survivalist gets a crazy castle spot somehow, like, technically he could just move to the middle right now with his skirms, maybe take this fight, maybe drop a castle there that could change the game. Imagine denying this TC right now. But Survivalist sees the siege workshop. And I just think the siege workshop gives you so much value of the potential damage. It's not even about any units you make out of it. It's just now Survivalist can't think about ever coming to the hill. Now he's going to castle here. And that is not a bad castle. It does protect the woodline, but long term, it's really awkward for Survivalist. Score is rather interesting here. I think that might be upgrades. I'm not really sure how with the populations the score is what it is. But guys, this game is so close. It's actually the closest game that we've seen the entire series. Because all the first 2 games were comebacks from Survivalist, and then Thunderbolt kind of stomped the next 2 games. Thunderbolt's never going to expect a castle here. I just don't know if the castle will range the rocket cart. Not if it rolls that way. Oh, that's so good for him that he's able to get away without losing it. Weird counterattack from Survivalist. He's going to need this now. He has to be creative with his army, and he has to avoid the hill. So that rocket cart's on the hill, and his TC will go down pretty quick if he doesn't have an answer. Survivalist will add the siege, and here come the skirms. TC number 4 for Thunderbolt, but he has no defense for this, and this is a lot of his eco back here. So I like that from Survivalist. Still no wheelbarrow for Thunderbolt, but he's got more on food, and he's got a really nice position in the middle right now. Survivalist is going to try a siege tower in game 5, man. And yeah, he's kind of he's the guy. He's the siege tower guy. What he'll do is what he tried in the previous game. It will make a little bit more sense here, but it allows the infantry to zoom in close to the siege to snipe it. It's really frustrating to play against. A Thunderbolt needs to add more skirms to clear this up. He's bringing vills out of the corner now. Like, the previous game, he was in a horrible position. And so even if he cleared up the army, it didn't really matter. Here, I mean, he's also in a kind of a bad position, but it's more winnable now. Like, this is something he could potentially stabilize. And I really don't know how you counter it. I actually think it'll be nerfed. The siege moves so fast once the infantry's in there, it's insane. I think is no counters. Except for, like, I don't know, a lot of knights or something. It's crazy. Look at that. Samurai hop out of nowhere. No upgrades yet, by the way. And bye-bye, rocket carts. Siege towers OP. Crazy, dude. Just crazy. And then, oh, we're going to die because we're infantry? Oh, let's just wheel away now. Zoom. Crazy. And infuriating if it happens to you in a moment this big, but I still think Thunderbolt's completely fine if he just castles the hill and chills out. The score is playing weird games with my head and his head and everyone's head right now. Yeah, no one uses siege towers to send units over walls. You just use siege tower as an infantry taxi to get in close to monks. What is up with the score, guys? Thunderbolt should have a massive score lead right now. Infantry are zooming after the crossbows. And the siege tower gets a couple units on the other side and they get the kill. Samurai also come to the middle now. Survivalist is about to drop a castle. But there's knights and Chukunu production. Survivalist. No way, dude! No way this is actually being placed right now. That's a crazy castle. It's a game 5. There's Chukunu here to range the villagers. Thunderbolt. Click the vills, my friend. Click the vills. Click the vills. Click the vills. He doesn't see it. He's panicking. He's making siege. Here come the samurai. Here comes the very weak tower. This castle could so easily be denied, and this would be the end of the series. It's risky, man. It's so risky. Rocket cart smashing the vills, but it didn't kill them yet. The siege tower's gone down, so that the infantry aren't really protected. The Chukunu all die for the most part. The castle's at 80%. The samurai will clear the knights. The castle for survivalist. Build faster, dude. Oh, it goes up. It goes up. And all hell breaks loose. All hell breaks loose. Thunderbolt's got eco here. Survivalist doesn't really. And guys, Survivalist loves this crap. He loves this crap. We got, like, rams, I'm sure. Like, rams and infantry could be crazy strong here. Thunderbolt will add more TCs, but I think he needs army more than anything. And he needs to track those samurai, dude. There's still samurai out here. He won't see them. And the samurai will deny that castle. That castle can never be placed there. Survivalist can't believe what he's up against right now. Or did I say Survivalist? I meant to say Thunderbolt. Well, okay, so this is what you do in Thunderbolt's position. You make Chukunu. Chukunu is actually incredible against siege, and it's incredible against infantry. You build a second castle here, and you don't really do a whole lot else in that. I don't think you need knights from here, but maybe you do that. But, like, murder holes is great. Double castle Chukunu production is the play. But Thunderbolt is a player, guys. He makes knights, he makes crossbows, he makes skirms. He is as pure an Arabia player as it gets. I don't think he's thinking Chukunu are an option right now. It's kind of crazy. He thinks this castle's still protecting him. He's going to go for a forward castle against Survivalist. Survivalist is massing Samurai, and Survivalist is massing Rams. I don't know if he can get over there in time. Let's see, though. Because that's a good castle for Thunderbolt. It doesn't protect the hill, which is concerning. But it would take away this gold. I've seen it so many times before. Thunderbolt's on the way to Imp, but with what army? He wants Trebs for army? This TC's probably fine. I think Survivalist is going to just clear, just mow everything down with infantry and rams. Survivalist doesn't see this, so all those villagers will die. He's down by 30. But you know what he's up by 30? Military. What's the military choice, Thunderbolt? He's thinking about everything but military. And choo-choo! Ram emote spam, let's go! I think Survivalist is going to do this, guys. Samurai produce super fast. They're a really solid infantry unit now. You combine them with the rams, and the castles will just simply melt. Thunderbolt's just clicked with 2,000 resources to go Imp. He has no answer to this. TC will go down. Villagers have to run away. He's thinking through his options, and he's going to try knights, but you need a lot of knights to kill this. Survivalist just finds a way. He just finds a way. Stable's down. TC's down. We do have some raids back here. We still have the castle here from Thunderbolt. But all of his production will be rammed. Like, he's making the stables to go cav. Survivalist should just take the stables. So he can never recover now. Takes a while to get the production, right? More production from Survivalist. And we have more rams and more samurai loading up. This is the difference between going imp and staying in Castle Age. Survivalist spending everything he's got in Castle Age. He'll go for this castle now. This TC is gone. The villagers are getting slaughtered. And there are 9 knights in queue, but there's 9 knights in queue out of the stables that are being attacked right now. Thunderbolt makes it imp. But he has no chance at saving this castle. And he won't even get an imp upgrade. That's the sad thing for him. He will not even get to an imp upgrade or an imp unit. He will have no castles. He will have no cavalier. He just completely froze after all the craziness from Survivalist. And he didn't know what units to make. He had given up on crossbows, which is maybe understandable in some ways. And then the knights he wasn't sure on. And the castle. And just like, Survivalist says, thank you very much. I'll take the gold. I'll take the stone. And, I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Now the imp upgrade is coming in. So there's plate barding now. But, you know, Survivalist should, in my mind, go Imperial Age now. And if he just goes Imperial Age, he can go Halb and he can win the game. But I don't know if Survivalist has an off switch. This is a very chaotic moment. I don't know if it's easy to think like that. But yeah, Thunderbolt is just not... He was not expecting the sheer commitment of numbers here. And he knows he's behind now, so he wants a castle on top of the hill again, because he's kind of clearing some of this up. But oh my goodness, dude, that was crazy. Maybe Thunderbolt can hold. I mean, he has imp armor now. Imp armor for 7 units feels kind of bad, though. More barracks from Survivalist. There is gold income for Thunderbolt. He does have 40 on food. Yeah, it's going to be full Castle Age Rams, Samurai, and Pikemen now for Survivalist. Because he's up against Cavalier. Or Knights, at least. I don't think Knights are that good. Against 36 units? There's a massive cost difference. Samurai they produce very fast. And they're also very cheap, guys. Compared to a Knight. This is over. I think it is. Like, this TC will go down as well. Look at how many pikemen and samurai are in queue from Survivalist. It's crazy. He's also getting the relics. Yeah, TC's gone. I actually think Survivalist can do it without imp. Absolute slaughter. Town center's gone. The knights are kind of, sort of holding. No, they're going to die. And the stables are going down yet again. You've got no wood if you're Thunderbolt. That's a choice. But he's just really nervous and really rattled right now. Okay, he does get to Cavalier. But his eco is so idle. Oh, man. Survivalist. Sometimes when I watch Survivalist, I'm not sure if I'm watching an extreme AI or not. It's so wild, dude. He's just like does crazy things. Like the infantry and the rams just keep coming. Like he has no off switch. It's so funny. Look at this. It's so freaking funny. But it works because it's like so random and chaotic that you just don't really know how to think. I mean, more damage is being done here. More damage is being done here. Survivalist is at 200 pop, and poor Thunderbolt is down to 90. And I think if Survivalist can find the off switch and go imp, it is over. He could probably stay in Castle Age at this point and win it because he's got a 50 villager lead. He's snagging relics. He must know that Thunderbolt's like basically at the limit. And this is going to be a heartbreaker for Thunderbolt because game 1 and game 2 he was ahead. He brought it all the way back. And then here he was ahead. But the infantry siege just completely caught him off guard, and he froze a little bit. We'll talk about what I think you have to do, by the way. We'll talk about that. I have a lot of experience watching and playing this type of style. But, yeah, it's going to be a heartbreaker for sure. Oh, my goodness. And now we get to watch this poor guy just like... He knows he's probably dead, but he just can't really believe it. And he's just... He's probably not feeling super good as he's trying to hold on right now. Whew. Someone in chat says he lost to one siege tower. No, I think he was mentally shook by one siege tower. The siege tower didn't win the game. The siege tower helped, but he had no clue how to react to it. And there was just a couple things after that where that got really chaotic out of nowhere. There are these villas over here that Survivalist is about to find. So those villagers have been probably the least idle eco Thunderbolt's had. So that eco's been working. Another ram goes down. More infantry hanging out underneath TCs. Survivalist is going to have 25 samurai and 33 pikemen now. And when he's an imp, his army will get even stronger. I think imp is the nail in the coffin. If we haven't seen the GG yet, I think Thunderbolt, when he sees imp, will. And my heart goes out to him because he could have won this series 3-0. And Thunderbolt wishes him the good luck next. And obviously the GG well played. It was a crazy series. There's a reason I wanted to cast this one out of the round 2 sets. There's some other good round 2 sets to come, but I knew this one was going to be close. Thunderbolt's definitely got like the meta in him. He's got, I think, more speed, right? He's got a lead in almost every single game, but some of the mid-game decision-making is really tricky, and it's really tricky against Chaos. So let's go back to it here. And again, we're not really pointing fingers, per se. I think it's really easy to oversimplify this and just say throw. This is a tough map to get your base set up, right? So yeah, just because you have the Vil lead, when you commit to the TC in the middle, if you start to get pushed, this gets really ridiculous. So first off, this is just Survivalist thing. I don't know what you're supposed to do. I don't think there's anything you can do about the Samurai Siege Tower play here. It's just a good play. Like, even if you expect it, the only thing I can say is you add knights earlier. And he's already adding a stable and thinking about it. So realistically, this is just a great clear up. Now, I guess what you could do is you could say, like, the crossbows have to be here or whatever, but you still are going to lose your siege, always. And the crossbows themselves even get chased down and they die here. But this castle, guys, this castle does not protect the middle. This castle is... You know the army's here. You know you're getting chased down. Now, I think the score was a mind game because he thought he was behind. He's actually ahead. That I still can't figure out the score situation. But I think the castle should always go here. You never allow your opponent to the hill under any circumstances. They cannot take that hill. They cannot take the stone. And they cannot take the gold, right? And that allowed some of this to unfold because he had to fight here. He had to try and stop this. And then this castle ends up going up, which, again, I don't think should have ever been an option. But Imp was the losing play for Thunderbolt. He just didn't realize it, but what Thunderbolt should do, in my opinion, is make a lot of Chukunu. Chukunu destroy siege. You already have ranged upgrades. Chukunu's good against Samurai. So double castle Chukunu production with knights, and he wins. Because he has the Vil lead. He has the better economy, and I think Survivalist army actually dies to that. But instead, he kind of froze, and he kind of made a little bit of nothing. Unfortunately, right? At least that's what it seems like. Like, he did think about a couple nights, but then it didn't feel realistic because he kind of ran out of gold. But imagine, though, like, if the initial castle's here, he's taking this gold. The castle from Survivalist isn't even close. He just froze big time. And maybe because he thought he was behind, he wanted to go Imp, right? Like, maybe if he thought he was 40 Vils behind because of the score, he wanted to go Imp. But either way, credit to Survivalist. Great series, great set, great fight. Survivalist will fight on in the bracket, which we'll talk about here in a second. He will at the very least be in the Silver League, which is really exciting to see. I do really think if Survivalist has hopes of performing well in Silver, but also like continuing in this bracket and getting to potentially gold. He's got to practice, man. He's got to practice because his opening was worse in every single game, and his draft was. Now, I think some of the crazy energy Survivalist has as a player, I think that bodes really well for him in the game. But the trend of like having a worse opening and the trend of falling behind early, it gets punished and could have been punished here, in my opinion. So I'm happy to see his craziness worked out, but he's going to need to sharpen up a little bit, I think, because the next round will likely be tougher, and silver will also be really competitive. So, all right, so here's the bracket for these players. Survivalist will move on. Survivalist will move into this round. To get to gold, which is very difficult to do, you would have to win this round and win this round, okay? But simply by making it here, Survivalist will at least be silver. This is essentially filling all of the 24 players in silver and then 8 players from gold. Antagonist is the big favorite against Emu. Hate to say that because Emu is one of my subs, but I think that's the reality. I would expect this to be Antagonist against Survivalist. I could be wrong. It might be Emu versus Survivalist. We'll see. All these other sets are happening all the time. We're going to cast another one here soon. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this. Please give me a smile in chat if you enjoyed the series, if you enjoy TTL, because it's a lot of work and we've just gotten started. So